It's week 3, the NFL on CBS, and we welcome you to Oakland, California, the O.Co Coliseum for the Pittsburgh Steelers and the Oakland Raiders. Ian Eagle, Dan Faust, the rest of our CBS crew, and today's game is being broadcast in Spanish, where available using the SAP button on your television. Beautiful day here in the Bay Area, 70 degrees. Wind, not much of a factor, at least not yet. Mostly cloudy skies the rest of the day. And we are set for the Steelers and the Raiders, an old school rivalry. Sean Sweetson will kick it off. Pittsburgh won the toss, but they have deferred to the second half. Steelers are 1-1. Raiders are 0-2 in a sense of urgency around this Raiders team right now. Mike Goodson, the return man, he is not 100% banged up. Hamstring injury suffered on Thursday. We're underway from Oakland. Marcel Reese, one of the up men. Off the bounce, Reese still on his feet. And knocked down from behind out across the 40-yard line. The kicker, Sweetson, was in on the action, a 37-yard return. Carson Palmer will lead this Oakland offense looking for their first win of the season.
Yeah, he said he must be aware to not overreact to the first lift that the Steelers give him at the line of scrimmage. The Steelers will change their looks often under defensive coordinator Dick LeBeau. Important, he said, to just react and play. He's played against the Steelers a lot. This is his 14th game against the Steelers.
Obviously, those appearances came as a member of the Cincinnati Bengals, where he was 4-9, including a playoff loss on first down. Palmer slings it. His receiver falls down, and it's intercepted, picked off by Ryan Clark. Clark across midfield. And Clark is tackled just short of the 35-yard line. A turnover on the opening play.
Yeah, play-action pass to Darren McFadden. And down the middle was Denarius Moore from the right side of the screen. You'll see him come in. You can see the feet of Ryan Clark. And he just slips and falls. He saw Clark. He was not going to continue deep on his route. I think the baseball dirt might have got Denarius Moore there.
There is no doubt about it. Lost his footing right where the grass meets the dirt. This is also the home of the Oakland A's, the only stadium that houses both an NFL team and a Major League Baseball team. Steelers opening up a 1st and 10 at the Oakland 36-yard line. Moore, the intended receiver, went down, and Palmer had it picked off by Clark. Miller, the motion man. First play from scrimmage for Pittsburgh. No score. Roethlisberger, plenty of time. Throws into heavy traffic. Incomplete. Mike Wallace, the intended receiver. And Mike Burris, the rookie out of San Diego State, getting a piece of it. Ben Roethlisberger, what a job he did last week, distributing the ball in that victory over the New York Jets.
Yeah, he's off to a good start here in 2012. 4 touchdowns, 1 pick. But he had his worst game ever here against the Raiders 6 seasons ago. 4 picks in that one. But he did talk about the infield dirt yesterday, something that he and the Steelers have to adjust to. Maybe Denarius Moore has to adjust to it as well.
Steelers' first trip to Oakland since that game that you mentioned, Dan, a 20-13 Raiders win. Roethlisberger, the 4 picks, 2 for touchdowns. Roethlisberger. Oh, what a grab by Miller. Terrific hands, but it's ruled incomplete. He trapped it. It'll be 3rd and 10 for Pittsburgh.
Yeah, heck of an attempt by Heath Miller. As the ball thrown low, he hits the ground, and right on top of him is Michael Huff. I'm not sure where he lost control of that. We'll check it from this angle. That appears to be a good catch from that angle, but maybe this one will be different.
A little bit of movement there.
It came out a little bit, but it never hit the ground, and the challenge flag is out by Mike Tomlin. I think that's a good call by Tomlin. We saw the ball come out of his grasp, but it never hit the ground. Miller appeared.
His challenge is a ruling on the field of an incomplete pass.
Our referee, David White. Boy, on the initial look, it appeared like he cradled it perfectly. Textbook. As he was going down to the ground.
He's off to such a great start to this season with a couple of touchdown catches. This would be his 12th catch of the season if it's overturned here. That's legal there. as the ball goes down to the ground, but you can see as he reaches with his left hand, keeps the ball off the ground. This is going to be an interesting decision for our replay official, David White.
Well, the nose of the ball definitely hits the ground, but the question is, does he have control? Is it considered a cradle for Miller? Roethlisberger telling us that he can't imagine life without Heath Miller. He blocks like an offensive lineman. He catches the football like a receiver. He believes, in terms of two-way tight ends, that he's the best out there in the NFL with both responsibilities.
And the judgment here is whether, as the nose of the ball hit the ground, if he maintained possession while he rolled over. We saw that the ball never hit the ground after he rolled over, but the decision will come to, and it's going to be very difficult to overturn this, I think, because the pictures are just inconclusive, regardless of all the good looks we have on this, because you just can't tell if he has possession throughout the entire play.
And that's a big part of the equation here, because if that's called a clean catch and it's challenged the other way, it may have been considered inconclusive and it would have been a completion. But the fact of the matter is it was incomplete on the field. And now the officials would have to look at that video and determine that it was indeed a clean catch.
A long look under the hood, too. Remember, the replay officials upstairs are the regular replay officials.
And that is Carl Mattson. David White is on a headset with Mattson, who's up in the booth.
Mattson obviously giving White a lot of help on this one. This is a very difficult call, no matter how you look at it, no matter which side of the field you stand on.
Well, I tend to think that the longer it takes, the better it is for Pittsburgh, because they're trying to determine where they're going to place the football.
After review, the ruling on the field stands. Third down.
And there goes that theory.
It's a normal theory, but there's nothing normal about these games with the replacement officials.
So they lose a timeout in the process. The challenge from Mike Tomlin. It'll be 3rd and 10 now for the Pittsburgh Steelers. And a 4-receiver set with Wallace, Brown, Sanders, and Cotchery. Just underway here in the first quarter. Palmer intercepted by Ryan Clark. Steelers trying to take advantage of that with excellent field position. Shotgun for Roethlisberger. Pocket holds up. Roethlisberger finds the open man. Cotchery! And he comes up short of the first down as he crossed the 30-yard line. Cotchery looking at the spot. It'll go down as a 9-yard gain for the Steelers.
Not short of a first down.
Great effort by Cotchery to try to do everything in his power to pick up this first down. Zone coverage by the Raiders that time. You can see when he hit the ground, he came up about a yard shy.
And they're going to go for it on 4th and 1.
Empty backfield. Makes you think quarterback sneak with that big guy. Either that or try to draw him off sides and kick the field goal.
Play clock is down to 4. Roethlisberger, a touch pass, handled by Wallace, and Wallace accelerates out across the 10. So they took their time. The patience pays off. It's 19 yards.
That's an illegal pick on the outside that the Steelers get away with. Michael Huff is down. He had the coverage that time on Wallace, and the inside receiver just went out and blocked Michael Huff. This is what the problem with the replacement officials. They're not used to calling pick plays, and a very smart call by Todd Haley here to pick up the first down.
Now, this is an Oakland defense that is really banged up in the secondary. No Shawntae Spencer, no Ron Bartell. Huff starting at corner.
I mean, you just don't get that wide open unless there is something illegal happening. Here it is right here. Watch the pick, and then Wallace comes underneath. This is just as blatant as you could possibly get.
It looked like a shot to the leg of Huff, who was able to get up on his own and make his way to the Raiders sideline.
And how big is an injury to Michael Huff for this Raiders secondary? Already without Shawntae Spencer today. Ron Bartell, the other starter, started the season, broke his shoulder. He's out for the year. Huff volunteers to go to the outside to play corner. And on the third play of the game, was injured on an illegal play.
First and goal from the 7-yard line. Redmond in the backfield with Will Johnson. And it will be Redmond up the middle. No Rashard Mendenhall. Mike Tomlin expects Mendenhall to be back after the bye week, which is next week for the Steelers, and then they host Philadelphia October 7th. 2-yard gain. Lamar Houston with the stop for Oakland. Will be second and goal from the 5.
Yeah, Redmond, a big thumper along with Jonathan Dwyer. Both go about 230. But they just haven't been able to get this running game going. The Steelers come in as the 30th ranked rushing team in the NFL.
And Oakland comes in 31st. Huff is back out there. Good sign for Oakland. 4-man front, working out of the gun, Roethlisberger. Steelers looking to strike first. It's a handoff to Wallace. Wallace needs some blockers, and he gets stacked up. The play never really developed for Wallace on the perimeter, and Tyvon Branch came firing through to make the stop.
Now, there's nothing wrong with the safeties of the Raiders. Tyvon Branch, Matt Giordano taking the spot of Michael Huff, but Branch does a super job of stringing this one out. Got help also from the corner on that side, Joselio Hansen, and really Wallace had nowhere to go.
7th play of the drive. 3rd and goal just inside the 5. Roethlisberger throws. It's Miller. He's got the angle. Touchdown, Steelers. Roethlisberger put it exactly where it had to be for his tight end. And Pittsburgh is on the board first on the road in Oakland.
And it's just not supposed to be that easy to complete a pass from the 5-yard line to get the guy into the end zone. But confusion in the secondary. Tyvon Branch and Michael Huff on that side both took the inside receiver.
And all set up by the Ryan Clark pick on the first play of the game. Squeeze him on for the extra point. A 7-play, 36-yard drive. The touchdown, Roethlisberger to Miller. Pittsburgh with a 7-0 lead on Oakland.
Well, Roethlisberger talked about how important it would be to get Heath Miller to the Pro Bowl. Watch the safeties here. Watch Miller come out into the flat. They're both looking for the slant there, and Wheeler's got no chance to stay with Heath Miller.
What it means to be a true fan. Here we go, and thanks to all.
So Ben Roethlisberger, over 27,000 career passing yards. He is inching closer to the team record held by Terry Bradshaw. And Roethlisberger, the leading passer in the NFL on 3rd down. What was that? A 3rd and goal for Pittsburgh. And that dynamic between Roethlisberger and Todd Haley, we spoke to Ben about it yesterday. He said, look, change isn't necessarily good or bad. It's just different. With Todd Haley, it's been really good so far. A strong give and take. They're both opinionated. They're both passionate. Are there going to be some moments over the course of the season that could explode? Yes.
I thought it was interesting when Tomlin was talking about that situation potentially. He says, well, I kind of like fiery guys.
He did say that. He likes that about Todd, and I think he likes the fact that there's a lot of true, honest-to-goodness passion in that quarterback room and dialogue. Swedes him kicking off to Mike Goodson. He'll take a knee, and the Oakland Raiders will have it at the 20-yard line. Steelers with a 7-0 lead on the Raiders. 11:33 to play in this first quarter. Take a look at the starting offense for Oakland. No Khalif Barnes. Barnes is out with a groin injury, so Willie Smith, in his second year from East Carolina, former Washington Redskin, picked up off of waivers, starts at right tackle. Backs and receivers, it's no secret. Darren McFadden and the Raiders' running game has to get going. That has been a huge issue the first 2 weeks. McFadden has been involved in the passing game, but the running game has been non-existent.
It's not good when your tailback is your leading receiver, as McFadden is with 15.
3 receivers set. Palmer throws. Knocked up in the air and out of bounds, incomplete. Denarius Moore, the intended receiver. Chris Carter, the one over there getting a piece for Pittsburgh. Defensively, for the Steelers, the 3-4 set. Ziggy Hood is one of these young Steelers that has emerged, the 25-year-old now in his fourth year. Linebackers, no James Harrison once again. Chris Carter gets the start there. Harrison out with a knee injury, and no Troy Polamalu. So Ryan Mundy is in at safety. Polamalu missing his second straight game. Palmer, a strike to Brandon Myers, the tight end. Myers has become one of the big targets for Palmer here early in the season. That covers 16 yards. And a new set of downs to work with for Oakland.
Yeah, he is their second leading receiver. That's his 12th of the season. Now the Raiders looking to up-tempo this game, try to get into some type of rhythm, go right to the line of scrimmage.
McFadden sets up as a receiver. Now he shifts to the backfield. Play clock is down to 4. Palmer made a change at the line of scrimmage. Running play, big hole. McFadden! Darren McFadden! Touchdown Raiders! McFadden takes it the distance, 64 yards. They've been waiting for it. The zone blocking scheme.
He'd only rushed for 54 yards in the previous 2 games. But this was a classic zone running play off the right side behind Willie Smith, Mike Breisel, and the center was Newski. And here the speed of McFadden. You got to hold your breath when he has the ball. He can go the distance at any time, and he outran the secondary of the Steelers.
Carson Palmer changing the play. They shift to a running play as Janikowski adds the extra point. And just like that, the Oakland Raiders have tied this one up. We have packed a lot in to a short period of time in this opening quarter so far.
Yeah, the key to this blocking is watch the backside here by Cooper Carlisle as McFadden very patiently waits for the hole to open up. The block right there seals the nose tackle and the linebacker, and then a poor angle by Ryan Mundy. And McFadden outruns Lewis for the pylon. But it's so important. This is the 5th different combination that the Raiders have had up front at an offensive line because of injury throughout the preseason and the first couple of games of the regular season. Greg Knapp, their offensive coordinator, talks about they need patience. The fans need patience more than anything. This will help in that regard a great deal. 64-yard beauty on his first carry of the day.
Darren McFadden. 11 carries for 22 yards last week in the loss to Miami. As we mentioned earlier, he has been heavily involved in the passing game, had 15 catches for 105 yards through the first 2 weeks, but the topic of conversation the last couple of days here in Oakland has been, is McFadden a good fit for the zone blocking scheme? We asked Carson Palmer, he said, Darren McFadden's a good fit for any running style or scheme. He's just that good. Chris Rainey, the return man, and he slips down just short of the 20-yard line.
Number 22, Chris Rainey. On the kickoff return.
So the Pittsburgh Steelers offense back on the field, and let's take a look at their starters up front. Last week it was Marquise Pouncey's twin brother Mike who went against the Oakland Raiders defense as a member of the Miami Dolphins. Pouncey, one of the best in the business, 2-time Pro Bowler. Backs and receivers for Pittsburgh. Miller actually was banged up this week. Rib injury, but was able to plow through it during practice and make the trip out here, and already has been a huge factor. Roethlisberger here in Oakland said it's a hostile environment, but I have a lot of respect for these fans. I know how passionate they are. Dump off, catch made by Redmond. And Redmond is hit just across the 20 by Rolando McClain. Branch came out of there with a football. And Van Dyke, the former Steeler,
2nd and 7.
or I should say, injury for the Raiders. Ben Roethlisberger taking a hit at the end of this play. No flag was thrown. That was Lamar Houston. Redmond in the backfield on a 2nd and 6. Play fake. Boy, Ben sells it perfectly. Almost intercepted. Philip Wheeler, the former Indianapolis Colt, got his hands on it.
That's what the Raiders will try to do today, is give Ben a lot of different looks at the line of scrimmage and then bail out and play zone. This was a very successful ploy by Dennis Allen last season when he was defensive coordinator with the Broncos. And Steeler fans know what happened in that game.
9 plays for Pittsburgh, 7 passes, 2 running plays so far. And now a 3rd and 6 for the Steelers. 9:37 to play in this action-packed first quarter. Brown, the motion man for Pittsburgh. Working from the gun. Pump, Roethlisberger. Low throw, Wallace there. And a clean catch for Wallace, covers 16 yards. They'll move the chains.
That's what Roethlisberger does better than anybody else in the game. Buy that extra 1 or 2 seconds in the pocket to find his receiver over the middle. Wallace does a super job of going down low, right about where the second baseman would play, and scooping that ball up 16 yards on the gain. Kind of quiets the crowd, too.
Well, the crowd has been into it from the very start. 3 receiver set on first down for Pittsburgh. Roethlisberger tried the quick hitter to Sanders. We talked about the fact that Dennis Allen did a terrific job last year as defensive coordinator for the Denver Broncos, defending Roethlisberger. That is our Fouts focus here.
Well, the key is to get Big Ben to give him different looks. The blitz look here makes him think about throwing it deep against the man-to-man. Once the ball is snapped, the Broncos drop into a zone. They rush only 4. They stayed in their lanes and contained Roethlisberger. 5 sacks, and a Pittsburgh loss was the result. We're seeing a lot of zone played so far today by the Raiders secondary.
On second down for the Steelers.
Hey, Roddy! We gotta go, pal.
Play clock down to 2. Steps up. Roethlisberger didn't go down on first contact. He's going to be short of the first down as Houston was the one chasing him from behind. Lamar Houston's a big guy. He's 6'3", 300. Roethlisberger is 6'5", 241.
And he went down hard on both his knees after Houston tripped him up from behind. Great effort to try to get to the first down, but sets up an optional type of call here. A lot of options for Roethlisberger and Todd Haley on 3rd and short.
Dennis Allen turned 40 yesterday. Head coach of the Raiders, youngest head coach in the NFL. This is a 3rd and manageable 2 yards. Roethlisberger set it up to the outside. Sanders has got the catch. And the first down, moving into Oakland territory for a pickup of 8 on the play. Defensively for the Oakland Raiders, Matt Shaughnessy, 26th birthday today, had a sack last week in that loss to Miami. Linebackers, Rolando McClain suffered a concussion in that game. There's a question mark this week, but passed all the tests, and he's been in there for the Raiders so far. And in that secondary, we told you how banged up they are. No Spencer today, so Huff shifting over to corner, and Matt Giordano getting the start at safety. Play fake. Roethlisberger. Instead of the deep ball, Redmond the safety valve, and Redmond will be wrestled down, but he does get enough for the first down to the 35, 11-yard gain. McClain, the first man there, and the swarm of Raiders defenders following.
Yeah, the Steelers gave the Raiders a heavy run look with 3 tight ends. Leonard Pope, David Paulson joined Heath Miller. The play action, been looking to go deep again, but the Raiders, again, more zone here, not allowing the deep pass, but not allowing the deep pass, gave up the first down pass to the outside on the previous play when Michael Huff was playing about 10 yards off the receiver.
Not a whole lot of pressure on Roethlisberger so far. He's 7 of 11, 71 yards in the touchdown to Miller. All tied up, Steelers and Raiders. Quick strike, Brown down the sideline. Antonio Brown I think a lot of people around the league were surprised when he got that extension. 5 years, $42 million. But you talk to Mike Tomlin, and what does he focus in on? His preparation, the way that he conducts himself, and obviously the attitude. The Steelers believe in him.
I thought it was interesting when he was talking about Brown when he was on the practice squad, how running routes against Ike Taylor every day made Ike Taylor, the cornerback for the Steelers, a better player. He is right now just schooling Michael Huff. Huff playing off. Now he decides to come up and play man-to-man, bump and run, which is a good idea.
There was a lot of scout team for Brown when he first came into the league out of Central Michigan. Handoff, it's Dwyer. Jonathan Dwyer pushed backwards, but the forward progress will get him 3 yards. Houston, McLean, Branch, all in there for Oakland.
And in talking to Michael Huff yesterday about the switch to corner, he said he'd rather play bump and run because he's a big physical type of guy. And so far, I think playing off has hurt the Raiders and made it difficult to stop Roethlisberger.
Pittsburgh in the red zone once again. 2nd and 7 now for the Steelers. We're down to 5:24 to go in this fast-paced first quarter. Fake the handoff. Roethlisberger. That rifle right over the middle to Wallace. And a first down for Pittsburgh. Giordano, the stop. 13-yard hookup. It'll be 1st and goal for the Steelers.
Well, the play action is holding the linebackers, opening up the zone right behind them in front of the safety. Giordano that time. 9 completions now for Big Ben. 6 different receivers. Similar to the game plan last week when he hit 10 different receivers.
1st and goal for Pittsburgh at the Oakland 5. Johnson and Dwyer in the backfield. Brown in motion. Running play. Dwyer. Brought down quickly. Michael Huff in there helping on run support along with Tyvon Branch. A gain of a half yard or so on the play.
They're just not able to get through that first wave of defenders with their running attack. But Big Ben told us yesterday it's about getting everyone involved as he has in the passing game in the first quarter. The running game will improve once Mendenhall comes back, which will be after the bye.
They're going to go jumbo here. 3 tight ends, Miller, Pope, and Paulson. 2nd and goal for Pittsburgh. Fake the handoff. Roethlisberger. Picture perfect. He's got Miller for the 2nd time. Touchdown, Pittsburgh. A bullet from Ben Roethlisberger.
And really a great route by Heath Miller working against Tyvon Branch. Just kind of made contact with him and moved to the inside.
Sean Sweetson. He will take the extra point.
Sean squeeze him on for the point after a 12-play, 81-yard drive for Pittsburgh. Squeeze him now in his 8th year in the NFL. He knocks it through. It's 14-7. Steelers.
2 catches for Heath Miller, 2 touchdown receptions. Watch this route against Tyvon Branch. Very simple. Play action, so he's going to come out and fake the block against Branch right here and then just release to the inside. Nobody home because of the play action fake, which to me is kind of interesting because the Steelers aren't running the ball worth a darn, and yet the linebackers for the Raiders still have to respect the run, and they're opening up huge holes in the secondary.
4th time in Heath Miller's career. He's had 2 touchdowns in a game. I don't know if he's ever had them quite this quickly. 3:49 to play in this first quarter.
Yeah, he's such a talented player and so humble, too. The thing that impressed me about the conversation with Roethlisberger yesterday about Miller is that even in practice, if he drops the ball, the players, it's so unusual, everybody will laugh. And he'll take responsibility. You know, I can't do that. I'm sorry, blah, blah, blah. And even if he's wide open in a game, he'll never say he was wide open, which is very unusual for a receiver.
Yeah, Ben just singing the praises of Heath Miller. And, you know, obviously the stats are so gaudy now at that position. So Gronkowski and Graham and others will get a lot more attention, but Miller's just been doing it on such a consistent level now for so long.
Yeah, he blocks like a tackle, catches like a wide receiver. That's a good combination.
Sweezum will kick it off. Mike Goodson is the deep man. 14-7 lead for Pittsburgh. Sweezum through the back of the end zone. Raiders will have it at the 20-yard line. Watch fantasy football today. Get game time player news. Set your lineup. Chat with our experts live every Sunday, 11 a.m. Eastern on CBS Sports Network, the 24-hour home of CBS Sports, and at cbssports.com/live.
Well, the last time the Raiders had the ball on offense, they went up-tempo with a no-huddle offense, and it worked out pretty good. McFadden going 64 for a touchdown.
Well, that has skewed the time of possession stats. 9:50 so far for Pittsburgh. Oakland's had the football a minute 21. Palmer on a dump off. McFadden waiting for some blockers. Steelers are all over it. Brett Kiesel was not going to let McFadden get out of that area. It's a loss of 3 on the play. Pittsburgh's time of possession last week, 36-36 in that victory over the Jets.
Watch Kiesel read this and get right to the screen. That's an outstanding play by Brett Kiesel.
Pro Bowler in 2010. Really turned himself into a terrific player. 7th round pick back in 2002. 2nd and 13 for Oakland. Palmer to throw it. Gun sideline. Drop ball by Denarius Moore.
Carson Palmer's pass intended for his wide receiver number 17.
A perfect description of that play. Perfect throw by Carson Palmer, low and to the outside, away from Lewis. Ball right in the hands of Denarius Moore.
Well, we asked Palmer about Moore, who was injured during the preseason. He said, look, this is really the first week that we've been able to work together because of those injuries, and hoping that he and Moore could pick up where they left off last year, where they did develop some chemistry after the trade was made with Cincinnati. Nickel package here for Pittsburgh. Steelers leading 14-7. 3rd and long. Palmer steps up in trouble. Devoured. Lamar Woodley.
Palmer sacked by number 56, Lamar Woodley.
Had a sack last week, and that now goes down as career sack number 50
Shane Leckler.
for the outside linebacker Woodley.
Really good combination blitz here, drawn up by Dick LeBeau. Watch the two linebackers, Larry Foote and Lamar Woodley here. Foote takes the interference out of the way, and then Woodley with good speed closes on the quarterback. That's well-designed defense.
So 4th down for the Raiders. It'll be Shane Leckler punting to Antonio Brown. Waiting for it at his own 40-yard line. Shane Leckler, NFL's all-time leader in career punting average, comes in at 47.6 in his career. Big boot by Leckler. Brown retreats, but he's got room. Brown circling. Brown runs into his own man and then slides down as he crosses midfield into Oakland territory. A 60-yard punt and a 22-yard return by Brown. Saturday, big matchup on the Home Depot SEC on CBS. Tennessee ventures between the hedges to face undefeated Georgia. The action begins live at 3 o'clock Eastern. College football today right here on CBS.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see what answers the Raiders have for the Steeler offense. With great field position to start this drive, Raiders desperately need to hold the Steelers. They cannot afford to have things continue this way.
Steelers have done whatever they wanted to in this first quarter offensively. Injury for Oakland. Mike Mitchell, knee injury. His return is probable. Play fake. Roethlisberger out of the pocket. And Ben throws it away as Tyvon Branch was on his heels. Incomplete.
Well, one adjustment Dennis Allen has made is to bring the safety blitz. Branch came a little bit late up the middle. Watch 33, left side of the screen, to put on the brakes there and then chases down Roethlisberger, who wisely threw it away.
Second and 10 from the 48.
How about the no huddle? It's something you talked about at great length with Roethlisberger, who really likes it and feels like the offense can thrive in it.
Yeah, I mean, most quarterbacks would like to call their own plays, and in the no huddle, that's what the situation normally is.
Mike Tomlin said, hey, we don't want to use it too often. He believes that it loses some of its effectiveness. Flag comes down, and this play never happens.
And part of that losing its effectiveness.
73 in the offense. 5-yard penalty, second down.
That's right guard Ramon Foster.
And the quarterback has to call plays in the line of scrimmage, so some of your key words may be intercepted by the defense. Teams scout not only tape of their opponent, but audio tapes as well, so they can hear the cadence, they can hear the key words, and then match them up to the plays. So too much of the no huddle could be a bad thing.
Yeah, Tomlin said he likes it when the offense needs a shot in the arm. Obviously, they do not need a shot anywhere on their body right now, the way that they've played in this first quarter on offense. Draw play and big hole. Redmond with a flag thrown. Redmond bottled up at the 46-yard line, but a penalty marker on the play thrown back at the Pittsburgh 45, a 7-yard gain.
And definitely holding against the Steelers.
Holding, offense number 74. Penalty 10 yards. Second down.
And it's Willie Colon, who was formerly at right tackle for the Steelers, now starting at left guard. He was on injured reserve last year with a tricep injury.
Here he is right here, and it's a draw play to Redmond. And he just reaches out and hooks Bryant. Easy call for both officials as they both threw a flag on Colon. Steelers with a couple of penalties and in the danger of ruining great field position.
2nd and 25 now for Pittsburgh. Dwyer in the backfield. Sanders shifts out. Fake the handoff, Roethlisberger. Deep ball, sideline. Antonio Brown. Incomplete. He was out of bounds.
Well, it just appears that every pass that Roethlisberger is throwing is to the right side here. Good call by our officials as his right foot was clearly out of bounds. But what's more concerning for the Raiders is how wide open Antonio Brown was on that sideline. Safety late coming over, not enough contact by the corner, Michael Huff, to slow down Brown.
Timeout called. They had 10 men in the huddle. And the Steelers have to get on the same page here with 1:37 to go in this first quarter. Pittsburgh with a 14-7 lead on Oakland.
Time now for action around
Wednesday in primetime. JB, Chris Collinsworth, Phil Simms bring you their unique view of America's Sunday pastime you won't find anyplace else. It's inside the NFL, and it's Wednesday on Showtime. Well, the Steelers' defense just hasn't been on the field very often.
The Raiders have only run 7 plays.
So if you're a Pittsburgh defensive player on the bench, you can get into some deep conversations.
7 plays, 6 passes, 1 run. The 1 run went for 64 yards. So maybe you should run the ball more if you're the Raiders.
$117 total yards for Pittsburgh, 70 for Oakland. Most of it coming on the McFadden run. This is a 3rd and 25 after the timeout. Roethlisberger set up the screen. Chris Rainey, rookie out of Florida, breaks a tackle, breaks another, and then brought down just across midfield. He picks up 14. Steelers will punt with a rookie out of Georgia, Drew Butler.
That's a good play, Ian, for a rookie to run, though. He got 3rd and 25. The Raiders are rushing 3 and dropping 8. They throw him a screen and say, okay, let's see you get that first down, kid.
Butler, whose father, Kevin, was the longtime kicker for the Chicago Bears. And a fair catch called for by Phillip Adams. 34-yard punt. Palmer will get another crack at this Pittsburgh defense with his team down by 7. 57 seconds to play in the first quarter. Well, Pittsburgh depleted themselves defensively, and two of the best players at their respective positions out of action. Troy Polamalu and James Harrison. Harrison is yet to play this season. Polamalu did play in the season opening loss to Denver. The calf injury has kept him out of action the last 2 weeks. Handoff McFadden, and wrapped up by Larry Foote. Stefan Wisniewski loses his helmet in the process. It's a gain of 1 for McFadden. Raiders are 0-2 for the first time since 2007. That year they went 4-12. Polamalu did make the trip.
Hard to recognize him without all his hair, though. He's got it all bunched up there.
You think you should just let it loose, huh?
He can do whatever he wants with his hair.
Did I just surmise from what you were saying? McFadden, not much there. Steelers ready for him, led by Ziggy Hood. 2.5-yard gain on the play for McFadden. So end of 1 here in Oakland. The Pittsburgh Steelers with a 14-7 lead on the Oakland Raiders. Miller, 2 touchdowns for Pittsburgh. Roethlisberger once again getting everybody involved. And that's something Mike Tomlin said. Maybe people around the NFL don't necessarily look at Pittsburgh as one of the deepest offenses in the league, but you start looking at their roster, they got a lot of pieces that can do a lot of damage.
Well, and when you talk to opposing coaches, especially the defensive side, the first thing they talk about, obviously, is Roethlisberger extending plays and then the ability to find these speedy wide receivers. Steelers are unique in the fact that they only employ 4 wide receivers for each game: Antonio Brown, Jericho Cotchery, Mike Wallace, and Emmanuel Sanders. But I think the tight ends are going to surprise you a little bit this year. And they have a secret weapon kind of in Will Johnson, their H-back, who is a very versatile player and a guy that will see more and more action as the season goes along, similar to Aaron Hernandez of the Patriots.
Just about set for second quarter action here in Oakland. The Steelers leading the Raiders 14-7. Ian Eagle, Dan Fouts, the rest of our CBS crew. Pittsburgh getting on the board quickly here today after an interception thrown by Carson Palmer. The Steelers turn that into a quick 7 points with Ben Roethlisberger leading the team down the field and getting his tight end Heath Miller involved. Raiders come back with a long touchdown run by Darren McFadden, and Pittsburgh is able to answer with another touchdown, Roethlisberger to Miller. Oh, we talked about the Pittsburgh side of things. For Oakland, there's no doubt that there's some uneasiness in the Bay Area. When you get a new regime, new general manager, Reggie McKenzie, comes over from Green Bay, the director of player personnel with the Packers. Former Raider, played a linebacker spot for Oakland back in the 80s. So he takes over. He makes his big hire, Dennis Allen, the former defensive coordinator in Denver. You know, this is a team that showed flashes last year. They were 7-4. They had a 1-game lead in the AFC West. People thought maybe this team was ready to turn the corner, and it did not end well for Oakland last season. Denver emerges in that division. They end up getting the playoff win over Pittsburgh. And Oakland still looking for its first win of the Dennis Allen era. Shotgun for Palmer. Gets rid of it. High throw. Incomplete. Took a shot from Larry Foote. Let's get you up to speed of where we are at. Roethlisberger to Miller. That's the touchdown that got Pittsburgh on the board. Then McFadden. Raiders fans have been waiting for this. McFadden gets the crease and turns it into 7. But then Roethlisberger orchestrates another impressive drive for Pittsburgh, and it's Miller again for his second touchdown of the day.
And really, that run by McFadden is all the Raiders can show for their offense so far.
Another punt from Leckler. Antonio Brown waiting for it. High punt. Flat down. Brown Little juke move. Brown finds a lane, takes it to the outside. Another penalty marker. Brown. Antonio Brown. What an effort. 73 yards for Pittsburgh and a touchdown. Two different flags on the play.
Yeah, one flag thrown where the gunner was trying to get down the field may have been held by the Steelers. Both these calls may go against Pittsburgh, nullifying a fabulous punt return by Antonio Brown. The second flag, you can almost predict where it was thrown and when it was thrown, that it's going to be an illegal block against the Steelers.
Brown went to the Pro Bowl last year as a return man. Electrifying skills. Such a big play threat when he gets the ball in his hands.
Yeah, he's so smooth, he's so fast, and his desire, you can see the work ethic in his return, how he's always looking to get down the field, get extra yards.
So we'll hear from David White. This one's coming back.
During the return, there was illegal block in the back on the return team. That penalty will be declined. There was holding on the return team during the kick prior to return. That penalty will be enforced from the end of the kick. First down.
So that was the initial flag that came down. They'll take the holding. We'll take a break. Early second quarter.
Now in the circle is where the holding will happen. Robert Golden, number 30, and also Cortez Allen, a couple of youngsters holding on Mike Mitchell here. That gets the first flag.
So Steelers get it back. Touchdown is nullified from Brown on the return. And a first down for Pittsburgh. Baron Batch up the middle. They're looking for something here in the running game. If it's not Redmond, Dwyer, Batch, Chris Rainey's been in there. Again, no Rashard Mendenhall, recovering from that torn ACL that he suffered on January the 1st in the regular season finale. But Mike Tomlin feels very confident after watching Mendenhall in practice this week that the bye week comes next week, and the following game he expects to have Mendenhall back in there.
He got some good work in practice. They thumped him a little bit in practice, and he responded well.
2nd and 8 after the 2-yard pickup. Miller and Pope, the tight ends. Miller sets up as a receiver. Roethlisberger locks in on Miller. Catch made out across the 25. A 7-yard pickup. The linebacker Philip Wheeler bringing him down.
Yeah, that's a mismatch regardless of who's out there on the outside. A linebacker here in Wheeler against Heath Miller. There's just no contest there. You could do that all day long.
3rd and short for Pittsburgh.
A lot of confusion on that Raider defense as they're all trying to communicate, pointing around. Look at this. Roethlisberger's waiting for them to settle down so he can call the play.
Play clock down to 1. They get the play off. And it's Batch barreling through for a first down. Needed a yard, picked up 3. This drive will continue for the Steelers.
Gain of 3 to the 30.
Well, Oakland's banged up. There's certainly been an issue in the secondary with Bartell placed on IR. He is actually eligible to come off. They've designated him as a player that could come back from that shoulder injury. Spencer's out with a foot injury. Ocelio Hansen signed with the team from Philadelphia, and Pat Lee signed from Green Bay, former second-round pick back in 2008 out of Auburn. On first down, it's Batch getting another chance up the middle. Second-year pro out of Texas Tech, had a torn ACL last year, and they limit Batch to a 2-yard gain.
And because of those injuries in the secondary, obviously the Steelers are more interested in throwing the ball today. They've run 26 plays. 18 of them have been pass plays. Roethlisberger, with time to throw, has completed 12 of those 18 for 124 yards already.
Well, it's a 2-yard gain on first down. Pittsburgh is last in the AFC in yards per play on first down so far this young season. Just 3.37 yards on first down plays. But we've seen them pass more often on first down and spreading it around with Roethlisberger. Look at the time he's got. Slings it over to Johnson. Will Johnson, they're very high on him, comparing him to Oakland's Marcel Reese. The fact that he's so versatile, a fullback out of West Virginia, but they didn't really play a traditional fullback at West Virginia, so he had to learn a lot of different skills.
Well, and you can see the skills that he has with that diving catch. Very difficult catch over the middle, but Johnson made it look easy. That's his third catch of the season. Very versatile player.
Their other H-back, David Johnson, no relation, went on IR with a knee injury. And it's Will Johnson who's got an opportunity, and he's made the most of it. 3rd and 4 for Pittsburgh.
Delay a game.
They'll back it up for the Steelers.
Delay of game. Offense, number 7. 5-yard penalty. 3rd down.
That's just losing focus there by Roethlisberger. The clocks are very evident. The play clock is staring you in the face. And for him not to see that, instead of a 3rd down play selection here where you can run or pass, move it back now, and it's an obvious passing situation.
4 penalties called against Pittsburgh, costing the Steelers 30 yards. The Raiders are yet to have a penalty called against them. We've got 10:35 to go in this first half. Pittsburgh with a 14-7 lead. 3rd and 9, Roethlisberger, shotgun, floats one, hauled in by Miller, and then lost it at the end.
I'm going to say he was down before the ball came out. This might be challenged by the Raiders. Steelers know that. They're trying to get to the line of scrimmage, going to play off before. There goes the challenge flag by Dennis Allen. Good challenge by Allen because the receiver has to be able to control the ball throughout the completion of the play. And I don't think Miller did that. Great effort by Miller.
Oakland is challenging the ruling on the field of a complete pass.
Miller in the matchup with Philip Wheeler, who is scraping at the football. Boy, that looks like a clean catch and down by contact. We'll find out. So the question here, does he complete the catch?
And the answer is no, because the ball will come out. The rule is you must complete the catch all the way. And you can see the ball comes out, although he does go to the ground. That's what the official saw at first. The ball was kind of shielded from the official that made the call by Miller's body. So it's a good challenge by the Raiders. This should be overturned.
This was a long review.
After review, the receiver did not maintain control of the ball through contact with the ground. The pass is incomplete. It'll be 4th and 9, the 31-yard line.
So Dennis
Clock
Allen's...
operator, please reset the game clock to 10 minutes, 25 seconds. Oakland will not be charged for timeout.
Okay, David, we'll do that. Dennis Allen's instincts were correct. Dan Fouch's instincts were correct. And the Raiders making a case for themselves right away. Tyvon Branch and the officials, after taking a look, agree.
And assistant Al Saunders up in the box. That's his job, is to take a look at the replays. Former head coach of the San Diego Chargers. He advised Allen to throw that challenge flag, and Steelers kind of gave it away. They thought it was incomplete the way they hustled the line of scrimmage.
And Allen had to throw it quickly because of it. They tried to sneak a play in. Butler comes off the side of his foot. The rookie did not get all of that one. Pittsburgh with a 14-7 lead over Oakland.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by Internet Explorer. Welcome to a more beautiful web. Farmers. Find a knowledgeable local farmers agent at farmers.com. We are insurance. We are farmers. And by Chrysler. Imported from Detroit.
Well, fitting that we would be doing the Raiders and the Steelers when talking about Steve Sable, a pioneer and a true giant. Sable wrote, "The autumn wind is a pirate blustering in from sea with a rollicking song. He sweeps along, swaggering boisterously. His face is weather-beaten. He wears a hooded sash." The Oakland Raiders and NFL Films, that was a perfect marriage. With his silver hat about his head and a bristly black mustache. A handoff for McFadden. Picks up a yard on the play. Jason Worlds makes that stop. 72, divisional playoff, 22 seconds left. Steelers trailing, one of the most famous plays in NFL history. Bradshaw's pass bounces into the hands of Franco Harris, races down the field for the touchdown, the immaculate reception. Jack Tatum, the defensive player there. Frenchie Fuqua, the ball ricochets, and NFL history was made. On a 2nd and 9. Palmer throws to McFadden, who ducks out of bounds just across the 45-yard line for Oakland in a 5-yard pickup.
You know, and those of us who played in that era are indebted to Steve Sable and NFL Films. There wasn't wall-to-wall football back in those days as there is now, and being able to have people come up to you and say, "Hey, I remember watching you play on NFL Films," is something that we all should be thankful to the Sables.
And at the core of who he was an incredible storyteller. Just understood that aspect of it. And you're right, and that was the avenue for so many football fans on a weekly basis. McFadden, nowhere to go on a 3rd and 4. Ike Taylor makes the play for Pittsburgh. It's a loss on the play of 3 yards for Oakland.
Well, the key to stopping the zone scheme is to get penetration on the front side. And you're going to see Lawrence Timmons, 94, do exactly that as he forces McFadden to the outside along with Larry Foote, where Ike Taylor can make that tackle.
Antonio Brown waiting on the Leckler punt. Ball for a fair catch, too early, and he knows it. Line of scrimmage will be the 15-yard line. A flag thrown on the play. "41-yard punt by Leckler. Four penalties against Pittsburgh.
During the kick, personal foul, face mask on return team. Penalty will be enforced from the end of the kick.
And another Steelers penalty at the 8:32 mark of this second quarter. A storied rivalry that goes back to 1970, the Steelers and the Raiders. More second quarter action when we come back on CBS. Allen here in Oakland lit the ceremonial torch. Number 32, Hall of Famer with the Raiders from 82 to 92. Got a huge ovation from this crowd, and nice to see that Marcus Allen and the Raiders, that relationship seems to be back in order. Up the middle for Isaac Redmond and a 3-yard gain. Rolando McClain will get credit for the stop just across the 10-yard line. Between 72 and 83, the Raiders and the Steelers played each other's 6 times in the playoffs alone.
Well, what team do you think helped the Raiders get in the playoffs that many times?
I didn't mean to bring it up because of that. But obviously I've struck a nerve of some sort.
Absolutely.
On a 2nd and 7. Antonio Brown has got blockers in front of him and finds a small opening to shoot through for extra yardage. Branch and Hansen combined to bring him down. It's a 6-yard pickup.
Last week against the Jets, Roethlisberger distributed passes to 10 different receivers. Here we are still with 7:40 to go in the first half, and he's hit 8 different receivers.
Miller with a couple of touchdowns. Roethlisberger spreading the wealth here for Pittsburgh, now facing a 3rd and 1. It's 14 of 21, 133 yards, a couple of touchdowns. Redmond doesn't go down on first contact, and he turns into a first down with a 4-yard pickup.
Yeah, the Raiders focusing on trying to strip the ball from Isaac Redmond as he hits over the left side. Good cut back there behind his center, Pouncey. And then McLean in there trying to get that ball out along with Wheeler.
Redmond was one of those developmental players for the Steelers, was on the practice squad, a Division II product from Bowie State, the Bowie State Bulldogs. Short yardage situations tend to be his best option, and Will Johnson helping to open some holes for Pittsburgh. 14-7, Steelers in front. Timeout.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by the new 90-inch Aquos LED TV only from Sharp. And by Frost Brewed Coors Light, the world's most refreshing beer.
Just incredible pictures from Friday. The Space Shuttle Endeavour making an appearance here in the Bay Area over the Golden Gate Bridge towards the East Bay. Dan Fouts had a close-up and personal look.
And the pilots love that, going over the Golden Gate Bridge so much, they did it again. They took a second lap. Awesome.
On first down, Roethlisberger out of the pocket. Roethlisberger over the middle, a dart to Redmond. And Isaac Redmond brings it in. Clean catch to the 30-yard line. Mike Burris with the tackle. It's another 9-yard pickup.
It's got to be so frustrating rushing against Roethlisberger. He's got such great feel for the pocket, escapability, and then when you get to him, it's tough to bring him down. He's 250 pounds or so. Dennis Allen says we're trying to get to his right arm, because if we just try to tackle him, he's strong enough to spin away and get the ball off, similar to what he did that time to find Redmond over the middle.
And he wins games on the road. Steelers have won 12 of their last 17 road games. Isaac Redmond fighting for extra yardage. It is enough for a first down. Matt Giordano, first man there for Oakland. Coming up, Verizon Halftime Report. JB and Company, latest NFL scores and highlights. It's all coming up on the Verizon Halftime Report. Well, through the first 2 games, the Steelers threw the football nearly 60% of the time. And the breakdown here, 11 running plays, 22 passing plays in this first half. Oakland has 13 plays overall. 33 for Pittsburgh. Roethlisberger, nice setup for Dwyer. And gets banged down by the linebacker Wheeler. Former 3rd-round pick of the Colts. Limit Dwyer to a 1-yard gain.
And really, it looks like the Steelers are content now to just hunt and peck a little bit against this Raider zone defense.
2nd and 9.
Raiders have not been able to mount any type of pressure on Roethlisberger. So he's having his way finding different receivers.
And Dwyer makes it 9 different receivers for Pittsburgh in this first half.
Wow.
2nd and 9 for the Steelers. They lead it 14-7. 4.5 to go in this second quarter. On a draw play and nothing there. Loose football. Raiders come up with it. Dwyer coughs it up and recovered by Joselio Hansen, the veteran.
Yeah, it looked like Desmond Bryant and Rolando McLean combined on the tackle on Dwyer. Ball got loose, and Hansen right there to pick it up. Just what the Raiders needed in this ball game.
Oh yeah, Bryant got a clean shot at the football. Raiders take over, trailing by 7 in the second. Comics major from Harvard making the play for Oakland, creating the turnover. Hansen on the recovery. And a big possession here for the Oakland Raiders. Trailing 14-7 with 4:20 to go in the first half. First and 10 from the Pittsburgh 30-yard line. Gordon, the motion man for Oakland. Bootleg. Palmer. Plenty of time. Palmer didn't like what he saw downfield and now finds Marcel Reese, who has spilled out after the modest gain of 3. Lawrence Timmons the hit defensively.
Yeah, great coverage in the secondary by the Steelers. Is really a super play fake by Palmer. Really bought a lot of time, but just nobody downfield. And a good job by Reese uncovering and picking up a couple.
2nd and 7 for Oakland. Another double tight end set with Myers and Osbury. 3 receivers. Palmer. The quick toss. It's Osbury. Gets out of bounds and a first down for Oakland. Second-year tight end from USC. 13 yards on the catch and run.
Now they're excited about Osbury. Very talented tight end. Can make things happen. Had a 31-yarder last week. Just his 3rd catch of the year, but he is a weapon at the tight end position.
Marcel Reese will set up as a receiver on 1st and 10, just inside the 15 for Oakland. Running play. McFadden. Steelers fully prepared for McFadden, limiting him to a gain of 1.5 yards. Ryan Clark got him down low.
They're staying on their feet. They're filling their gaps. Watch, none of the Steelers are on the ground here. When McFadden goes to turn it up, there's just too many Pittsburgh Steelers there for him to get to the corner. Good team defense.
Clock is moving, under 3 minutes to play in this first half. McFadden 68 yards on the ground, but most of it came on the 64-yard touchdown run. 3 tight ends, 2nd and 9 for Oakland. Bootleg. Palmer. Pump. And Palmer out of bounds. Little push from Woodley, something that Mike Tomlin talked about. Carson Palmer really believes his movement is underrated. Yes, he's a classic passer, but he can make some plays with his legs, in the opinion of Tomlin, who went against him when Palmer was with Cincinnati.
Yeah, a little play fake, a little pump fake at the end of this. Got him a couple extra yards, but great coverage by Lewis on Gordon in the back of the end zone.
Sets up 3rd and 3 for Oakland. Coming up on 2 minutes to play. Palmer. Floater. The cut by Goodson, and he doesn't have enough for the first down. It'll be 4th down for the Raiders as we hit the 2-minute warning. Cortez Allen with a stop along with Brett Kiesel. Pittsburgh up by 7. 4th down for Oakland. Decision time for Oakland head coach Dennis Allen, and they've decided to go for it on 4th and 2.
Yeah, this is a real curious call here. Instead of getting the points, down just 14-7. Big decision.
And it's a long 2. It's probably closer to 3. On 4th down. Oh boy.
There was contact made there. The Raiders think they may have drawn the Steelers off sides.
There was a shift to the right side for Oakland. There was definitely movement.
Looked like Kiesel may have jumped into the neutral zone and made contact. See how the replacement officials rule on this one.
Officials huddling up. Both sides trying to make their respective cases. And David White comes out of the crowd there. I mean, this is a long discussion again.
Prior to the snap, neutral zone infraction, 96 to the defense. The penalty is half the distance to the goal, results in a first down.
He said 96, Ziggy Hood. I saw what you saw initially with Kiesel.
Yeah, Kiesel stood up and stepped into the neutral zone, and Cooper Carlisle jumped off sides, which is a good idea by Carlisle. Here's Kiesel. Watch him after the shift. Will jump up into the neutral zone. And the reaction by Carlisle is the proper one.
There was contact. That's all it takes.
Yep. First down. Goal to go.
So he makes the call on 4th and 2, and it pays off with a penalty on Pittsburgh. First and goal for Oakland. Palmer up in the air. Hauled in. Darius Hayward-Bay. Touchdown Raiders.
And this is a pick play that is totally legal. There's no contact on it. Combination route between Denarius Moore coming to the inside. That forces Monday to go over the top. No contact, so it's a good play, legal play. Great throw, great catch.
So the Raiders take advantage of the Pittsburgh fumble. They turn it into a touchdown. Hayward-Bay's first of the season. Janikowski on for the extra point. All scores are reviewed upstairs, and I guess the question is whether or not he got 2 feet inbounds off this pass by Palmer. Perfect touch.
Yeah, he easily got 2 feet in. Beautiful throw by Palmer. Monday never located the ball. Perfectly executed by Denarius Moore and Hayward-Bay.
The touchdown is on the board. Janikowski the point after. And we are knotted up at 14 apiece. 1:54 to play, second quarter in Oakland.
NFL on CBS is sponsored by Southwest Airlines. Find our fares online only at southwest.com. DirecTV. If you call yourself a sports fan, you gotta get DirecTV. And by Bud Light, the official beer sponsor of the NFL. Here we go.
'20th all-time meeting between the Steelers and the Raiders. Oakland and Pittsburgh tied at 14. Touchdown to Darius Hayward-Bay, the number 7 pick in the 2009 draft, capping off the 6-play 30-yard drive after the fumble by Dwyer, recovered by Oakland. Janikowski kicks off to Rainey. Steelers are out of timeouts. They'll have 1:54 to work with here at the end of the second quarter. Celebrate Hispanic Heritage Month with the NFL. Visit NFL.com/Espanol, official Spanish language home of the NFL. Here in Oakland, they kicked it off with a mariachi band in the parking lot before the game. How about the first Latino Super Bowl MVP, Jim Plunkett, honorary captain for the Raiders today. The famed group War performed our national anthem, and there are markings on the field recognizing Hispanic Heritage Month throughout the NFL. First and 10 for Pittsburgh. From the 20, Roethlisberger to Wallace on the perimeter. Mike Wallace banged out of bounds just across the 25-yard line. That's 7 yards on the completion.
Yeah, 7 yards and stopping the clock. Good job by Heath Miller. You see his versatility. He was a lead blocker on that wide receiver screen.
Second and 3 for the Steelers. 1:48 to go, first half. From the gun, Roethlisberger over the middle. Baron Batch driving his helmet for a 5-yard gain. McClain and Wheeler collaborate to bring him down. First down, Pittsburgh. That is 183 yards of offense in this first half for Pittsburgh.
And still they're tied.
1:20 left. Roethlisberger, pump, slings, on time to Bax, and Bax turns it upfield. Gets out of bounds. He's got a first down for the Steelers. 15 yards on the catch and run by Baron Batch.
Steelers may have a problem in their offensive line. Marcus Gilbert, who came into the game with a bad groin, has been limping severely after the last 2 plays. Really late getting to the huddle. You can see he's limping as he's coming to the line of scrimmage even.
10 different receivers have caught a ball here in the first half for Pittsburgh. Same number as last week in the win over the Jets. Near midfield. Roethlisberger throws. Terrific hands by Miller. Makes the catch just across second base. Wheeler with the coverage. 7-yard gain. And there is Marcus Gilbert just trying to grind through this in the first half. 2nd and 3. Roethlisberger. So much time to work with. Roethlisberger downfield. Sanders takes a lick from Giordano and holds on to the football. We're down to 33 seconds left.
Really good, clean hit by Matt Giordano. Didn't lead with the helmet, didn't launch, just drove his shoulder into the receiver.
Roethlisberger spikes it with 23 seconds left. This a 21-yard hookup. Roethlisberger to Sanders.
Yeah, he doesn't need 10 seconds to throw, but he'll take it. There's the shot by Giordano. Again, a legal shot, and that's important.
We asked Allen about Giordano getting the start. He said he's earned the right to be on the field. He's one of the best 11 players on defense. Giordano has been backing up Michael Huff, but Huff starting at corner, Giordano getting the start at safety. 8 straight completions for Roethlisberger before the spike. 2nd and 10. Play fake. Roethlisberger over the middle. Rainey the catch. They're down to 16 seconds left. No timeouts. 9-yard pickup.
Yeah, they'll spike it here, then bring out the field goal team. No problem.
5 seconds. And the spike with 2 seconds remaining.
Roethlisberger cool, looking at that clock, knowing that just let the clock run all the way down so the Raiders will have no time after this field goal kick.
Don't forget, coming up, Verizon Halftime Report, JB and the rest of the crew, latest NFL scores and highlights. A wild week 3 around the National Football League. It's all coming up on the Verizon Halftime Report. Sean Sweezemon, 33-yard field goal attempt to give Pittsburgh the lead at the break. Hasn't missed a field goal yet this season. Butler will hold it. And Oakland will call a timeout. 33-yard attempt for Sweezem and the Steelers when we come back. Now, Ben Roethlisberger has vivid memories of his only appearance here in Oakland. He said it was the worst game of his career back in 2006. 4 interceptions, 2 came back for touchdowns for the Raiders. A different story in this first half here in 2012. Roethlisberger's 22 of 31, 207 yards, a couple of touchdowns, Dan.
And is anybody better at this type of situation? The hurry-up offense, especially when the Raiders have no pass rush at all. He's just been able to find his second and third outlet guy and move the ball right down the field.
33-yard field goal for Sean Sweezem. Sweezem knocks it through, and the Steelers lead it 17-14 at halftime. Pittsburgh with 235 yards of offense. Oakland with 105. Verizon Halftime Report is coming up after this message. A word from your local station. You're watching the NFL. A quick start for the Steelers. Ben Roethlisberger, couple of touchdowns to Heath Miller. The Raiders, though, rally. Palmer to Darius Hayward-Bay. 3-yard touchdown. Sweezem a field goal at the end of the first half, and they've got the lead. 17-14 as we get ready for third quarter action. Right now, let's take a look at the DirecTV Ultimate Picture Cam. Carson Palmer getting a little help from Darren McFadden on this long touchdown run.
Yeah, first run of the day for Darren McFadden. Goes 64 yards and a dive to the pylon in the end zone. But other than that one play, the Raiders offense hasn't been able to do anything, whether on the ground or through the air. They did take advantage, though, of the Dwyer fumble. Gave them great field position. They got their points off that.
Ian Eagle along with Dan Fouts. Numbers-wise, it's been lopsided in favor of the Pittsburgh Steelers. But the Raiders have had a couple of big plays. You mentioned the turnover. Obviously, the McFadden run. Oakland, this is a desperate situation right now.
Well, they got to find some way of getting to Ben Roethlisberger. You can see the turnovers and the points off. Both teams have been able to capitalize on that. But Roethlisberger has thrown the ball 31 times in the first half. I don't even think he's been knocked to the ground one time.
So the second half, Pittsburgh won the toss, but they have deferred to the second half. And the Steelers will have the football to open up this third quarter. Janikowski kicking off. And Pittsburgh will have it at the 20-yard line to open up the second half.
And Roethlisberger last week completed passes to 10 different receivers. He's done that already in the first half today against a depleted secondary of the Oakland Raiders. A lot of injuries to the corners. Michael Huff has been forced to play out on the corner position, but there's been no pass rush to help out that secondary for the Raiders.
And here is the pass distribution for Pittsburgh. Wallace, the leading receiver, with 4 catches for 57 yards. Miller, the 2 touchdowns. But basically everybody available to Roethlisberger, he has gotten involved. Maybe Leonard Pope or David Paulson can get in on the act, and they'll top that 10 receiver mark from a week ago. And a flag.
A false start against the Steelers. A bad way to start the second half.
Offense, false start, 68. 5-yard penalty, first down.
And that's penalty number 7 against the Steelers, costing them 45 yards. Oakland does not have a penalty called against them.
What? You got to be kidding me. The Raiders, no penalties playing the Steelers?
That's real. That's fact right now.
That's amazing.
Well, you mentioned Marcus Gilbert. He looked banged up. Kelvin Beachum, rookie out of SMU, is now in at right tackle. He played left tackle in college. And Beachum was the one called on the penalty to start this second half. Roethlisberger pump. Roethlisberger dials up the deep ball. Mike Wallace, the intended receiver. It's incomplete. Pat Lee back there defensively for Oakland.
One of the fastest, if not the fastest, wide receivers in the league. Told us yesterday that when he runs this go route, see the stop and go that time, he got behind Pat Lee with ease, but Roethlisberger had that ball sailed to the outside, out of bounds.
And what's the term he used? He likes to stack the defensive back.
Get behind him and have him trailing you right behind you in a stacked position.
That one, he got separation. If the ball was there, it would have been an easy completion to Wallace. 2nd and 15. Here comes the rush. They handle it. They can't get pressure on Roethlisberger. Incomplete. Antonio Brown in the vicinity. Michael Huff drawing the assignment for the Raiders.
That's 2 bad throws by Roethlisberger to start the second half. Brown had his man beat. Michael Huff on the out route. That ball was thrown about 5 yards to the outside.
33 pass attempts. No sacks for Oakland.
And a clean uniform for number 7.
3rd and long for the Steelers. First possession, second half. They have more than doubled Oakland's yardage total. Feeling some pressure. Roethlisberger unloads to Mike Wallace for a first down. And Roethlisberger took a shot. And limping as he grabbed at that left leg.
Like Philip Wheeler with the hit on Roethlisberger. That should be a penalty. You cannot do that to the quarterback. Cannot go low on the quarterback like that. Wheeler gets away with it, but that definitely is illegal.
22-yard hookup to Wallace. New set of downs for Pittsburgh just across the 35. And a handoff. Batch keeps the legs churning as he crosses the 40-yard line for a 5-yard pickup. McLean and Bryant combine on the stop.
Let's go back to that hit on Roethlisberger. Beachum is number 68. He's going to push Wheeler, but Wheeler continues to crawl, and then he hits Roethlisberger below the knee.
And guess who's back in there? Marcus Gilbert.
Bad leg or not.
So Beachum had a penalty called against him. He was involved in that play with Wheeler. And now Gilbert returns for Pittsburgh on a 2nd and 5. Roethlisberger sets and connects with Antonio Brown. Across the 40-yard line into Oakland territory, 19 yards. And it's Roethlisberger to Brown. Roethlisberger to Wallace and Roethlisberger to Brown. 2 tremendous connections, the chemistry.
Yeah, a 5-man rush for the Raiders. They don't even get anywhere near Brown, and Brown is just too quick for Joselio Hansen to stay up with.
On first down for the Steelers from the gun, Roethlisberger. Terrific pace right now for this Steelers offense on a slant to Antonio Brown. That covers 12 yards and a first down.
Michael Huff playing very soft, giving way too much cushion to Antonio Brown on the slant route. Starting to sound like a broken record. But Huff now comes up, as you can see, in the bump and run.
First and 10 inside the 30 of Oakland. 17-14, Steelers in front. First possession, second half. Roethlisberger pumps, throws too high along the sideline for Brown. Working against Huff.
And that was an excellent job by Huff that time to really limit Brown to just the sideline there. Physical player. And that time it worked perfectly. Roethlisberger had to throw that ball out of bounds. Watch the job that Huff does here. Brown saying that contact was after 5 yards, but no call.
Second and 10 for the Steelers. Raiders crowd the line here. Now back off. Roethlisberger, another pick play on the outside. Sanders trying to break free as Pat Lee made the tackle in the open field.
But you can block after the catch. You just can't go in there and knock the other defender down before the ball is thrown. Watch Wallace come in here. The ball is thrown, it's caught, then he blocks, and it's a legal play for the Steelers.
Third and 5.
3rd and 5 for the Steelers. Spread formation, empty backfield for Pittsburgh. Third catch of the day for Sanders. Roethlisberger steps up. Roethlisberger, look at the room in front of him. He throws back in the end zone. Wide open, Wallace. Touchdown, Steelers. Ben Roethlisberger buying time and manufacturing a touchdown.
And he could have very easily run for the first down, but always keeping his eyes down the field. And Mike Wallace continues to run the entire back of the end zone. Here's Wallace right here. Watch him go up and all the way to the back. Giordano loses control and loses sight of where number 17 is. Look at Roethlisberger, had all this room to make the first down with his legs. He sees a wide open 17.
Is there anybody who is better at extending plays at the quarterback position right now in the NFL? Touchdown, Steelers. 22-yard touchdown, Roethlisberger to Wallace. Giordano was hurt on the play, and Giordano is now limping through the tunnel and back to the Oakland locker room. Sweezum, the extra point. 24-14 Pittsburgh. And a strong statement to start this second half. Wallace by himself in the back of the end zone, and Roethlisberger loving it.
NFL on CBS is sponsored by Southwest Airlines. Find our fares online only at southwest.com. Scottrade. See for yourself why so many investors are saying, I'm with Scottrade. And by the all-new Honda Accord. It starts with you.
Nine plays, 80 yards. It took 3 minutes and 20 seconds. Again, Roethlisberger masterful on third down. And he hooks up with Wallace for the 22-yard touchdown. 24-14. Steelers in front. Sweezum kicking it off to Goodson, the former Carolina Panther. Moves forward. We'll take it from the 1. Goodson gets a lane. Goodson down the sideline and forced out of bounds. He got pushed from behind by Curtis Brown. 48-yard return for Goodson. It's a 10-point lead for the Pittsburgh Steelers. Ben Roethlisberger, what a day. 287 yards, 3 touchdowns. The NFL on CBS features key divisional matchups. The Patriots take on the Bills. The Titans face the Texans, or the Raiders meet Peyton Manning and the Broncos. It all starts with the NFL Today, presented by Southwest Airlines at noon Eastern, right here on CBS. Excellent field position for Oakland. First possession of this second half, just across midfield. Carson Palmer, 6 of 10 for 37 yards.
Yeah, the Raiders have only run 19 plays in this game. The Steelers, 52 plays.
Raiders have only had the football for 8 minutes and 34 seconds. Pittsburgh, 24 minutes and 56 seconds. First and 10 for Oakland at the Pittsburgh 48. Trailing 24-14. Draw play, McFadden. There's a hole. McFadden gets to the second level. Bangs inside the 35. Good block by Stefan Wisniewski and Marcel Reese to help spring McFadden loose for 16.
Well, and McFadden on the outside, right side of the screen, you're going to see Ryan Clark come up. And he's going to give him a little shake and bake right about there and fly by. It's a great start for the Raiders.
Palmer, home run ball off the hands of Hayward Bay, incomplete. And he had Ike Taylor beat in the end zone.
And Taylor did a good job of not allowing Hayward Bay to get behind him. Top of the screen here, watch Taylor just take off there. That was rare to see the defensive back farther down the field. Hayward Bay with a good ball adjustment, just couldn't reel it in.
Second down now for Oakland. Palmer will make a change here. We saw this earlier, and the change turned into a 64-yard touchdown run for McFadden. Play clock down to 1. It's a pitch. McFadden wrapped up. Lamar Woodley, who has played well here this afternoon, a Pro Bowler in 2009 when he had 13.5 sacks. And Woodley makes the play on the running back McFadden.
Woodley did such a super job of fighting off the block of the tight end. Brandon Myers just stood up with him, and when the ball carrier McFadden got close, he shed the blocker and made the tackle. Outstanding play by Woodley.
Raiders are 0 of 4 on third downs. Gain of a half yard there for McFadden. We'll call it 3rd and 9 for Oakland. Moore, the motion man, from the gun. Palmer throws. Caught by Moore. First down, Raiders inside the 20. Cortez Allen there defensively for Pittsburgh.
Really good rhythm here. Back, sets his foot, fires a fastball, and right in the zone. Moore gets it and gets the catch. Big first down on a 3rd down for the Raiders.
Darius Hayward Bay is now along the Oakland sideline working with the trainer. We just heard Giordano had leg cramps. He's getting an IV in the locker room. His return is questionable. So it's Hagan out on the field along with Rod Streeter, rookie out of Temple.
Here's Streeter. Here's Hagan.
First down just inside the 20. Rush coming. Palmer gets rid of it. Little comebacker for Streeter. And then hit by Taylor.
Yeah, because of injuries in the preseason, Streeter was the Raiders' leading receiver. So very comfortable with his quarterback, Carson Palmer.
Well, that's a finger injury for Hayward Bay. They lost Jacoby Ford in the preseason for the rest of the year, and he was a big weapon for Carson Palmer. 2nd and 5 now for the Raiders. Palmer over the middle. Finds a soft spot there with Denarius Moore, and he's cut down right at the 10-yard line, just short of a first down by Larry Foote, the linebacker.
But you can just see the confidence building in this offense led by Carson Palmer. He's getting back and getting rid of the ball quickly. The receivers are getting into their routes and making the catch on the other end.
Palmer came into this week leading the AFC in passing yards, but he's been held to 58 here this afternoon. 3rd and 1 for Oakland. Seventh play of the drive. Schmidt in front of McFadden. Now they crowd the line. Handoff, McFadden. McFadden sticks the helmet down, keeps on going. First down, Raiders. Just inside the 5-yard line. Under 8 minutes to go now in the third. 10-point lead for Pittsburgh.
Well, McFadden kind of was laying on top of Brett Kiesel right here. Watch this play and the awareness by McFadden to realize his knee never touched down. So he put his right hand down on the ground and got the extra yardage down to the 5. Heads up play by McFadden, realizing he was never down. No whistle. First down, Raiders.
Hayward Bay back in. Handoff, McFadden. Spins. McFadden extends the arm. Touchdown, Raiders! Terrific individual effort by McFadden for the score.
You know, his 64-yarder was something, but I like this one even better, because this is all about effort and desire, as he just would not be denied. Hit it right at the line of scrimmage, spins off, then extends just enough to get it to the goal line. This one will be reviewed because it is a scoring play, but you got to love that effort. His knee was not down. That's a touchdown. Great effort on back-to-back plays by McFadden.
Mundy and Lewis had an opportunity to bring him down before the goal line, and McFadden just kept on coming.
There's a hit by Lewis. Now that's a touchdown. That's his knee hit the ground. That ball was touching the goal line.
They're taking a look at it. 24-20 right now, Pittsburgh.
CBS is sponsored by Autotrader.com. Now compare new and used cars and find the best deal on Autotrader.com. And by FedEx. FedEx does more than shipping. FedEx, solutions that matter.
Upon further review, this is not a touchdown. Knees are up, but the elbow is down. Ball is short of the goal line. It'll be Raider ball inches away.
After review, the runner's left elbow was down short of the goal line. The ball will be placed second and goal at the 1-foot line.
Great effort by McFadden. You can see the left elbow clearly down and the ball just inches shy. Our camera is right on the goal line. That's a good use of the replay by our officials, and that's why each scoring play is reviewed.
So it'll be second and goal for Oakland inside the 1. McFadden had the 64-yard touchdown run in the first quarter. Came inches away from his second touchdown of the day. 3 tight ends in this formation. Second and goal for Oakland. On a give, McFadden runs into a brick wall. And a loss on the play.
I just don't understand that call. You're literally 2 inches from the goal line. Your quarterback is 6'5", 235. How about the good old quarterback sneak here? You take the ball back away from the line of scrimmage, penetration, and now we got a Steeler hurt at the bottom of that pile, but I just don't understand that call at all when you're so close to the goal line.
Injury on the play. Will Allen, the veteran safety, will step aside after he took the brunt of the hit in the collision with Darren McFadden right at the goal line. Raiders now a third and goal from the 1. Trailing by 10. Fake the handoff. Palmer looks. He throws for the touchdown. Richard Gordon. Oakland cuts into the Pittsburgh lead. Carson Palmer connects with the tight end. 24-20 as we await the extra point.
Here's Gordon here in line of scrimmage. He's going to come out and block and then sneak it back over the middle. Good job of getting away from the defender and nobody around him. Easy pitch and catch for the Raiders.
First career touchdown for Gordon in his second year out of Miami. Janikowski, the point after. 24-21, the Steelers leading the Raiders. Third quarter action continues in Oakland.
on CBS is sponsored by KFC. Delivered fresh, prepared fresh with world-famous secret recipes. Come in today and taste why fresh is better.
Rejoining you here in Northern California, Pittsburgh 24, the Oakland Raiders 21. Raiders got terrific field position after the 51-yard return by Goodson. And then Palmer connects to Gordon for the 1-yard touchdown. 10 plays, 48 yards. And it took just over 5 minutes to cut the Pittsburgh lead to 3. Janikowski onside. Ricochets out of bounds. Penalty marker thrown.
Kickoff out of bounds is a penalty, but the Steelers can take this ball where it goes out of bounds, so they'll have great field position regardless.
Trying to catch the Steelers off guard on special teams, and it backfires. The officials huddle up. Steelers offense is on the field. Raiders defense on the field.
Looked like Mike Goodson had a real good shot at this ball, but couldn't come up with it. And then the ball took a crazy bounce and went out of bounds, but perfectly executed by Janikowski. Steelers were totally fooled.
Foul. It's a free kick out of bounds on a kicking team. The ball will be placed where the ball went out of bounds. First down.
Yeah, that's a gamble by the rookie head coach that doesn't pay off, but not because of bad idea, just poor execution. Watch Goodson there, has the ball go right through his hands before Francis can come over and keep it in bounds.
So Pittsburgh has it at the Oakland 48-yard line. Dennis Allen, former defensive coordinator with Denver, was with New Orleans, Atlanta, at the University of Tulsa, Texas A&M, where he played safety for the Aggies, a 2-year starter. His dad, Grady, played linebacker for Atlanta in the NFL from 68 to 72. And Dan, the first defensive-oriented head coach for the Raiders since John Madden.
And that goes way back. Madden, of course, was an offensive lineman in his playing days. So he wasn't totally on the defensive side, although he did coach on both sides of the ball early in his career.
So again, this is an extended scenario for the officials. And look who's here.
There's the great coach, the Hall of Famer. Really the standard for all of us analysts that we try to emulate. Nobody did it better than John Madden. I like to refer to him as the Babe Ruth of football analysts.
I think that's fair.
Is he waving to catch our attention? Okay.
I think there's a flight coming in. Timeout. The black hole of Oakland. But Raiders fans, young and old, on hand for this Pittsburgh-Oakland battle. 24-21, Steelers in front of the Raiders. Pittsburgh with a 1st and 10 at the Oakland 48-yard line and a 5-receiver set here. Roethlisberger 287 yards through the air and 3 touchdowns. From the gun, Roethlisberger, low throw is handled by Brown. Brown, so elusive as he finds cracks in the defense and picks up 6 yards. NFL Today update, JB, Bill Cowher in New York.
Coach said the Falcons needed more Turner.
How about these weapons, Dan Fouts? Michael Turner, 7 yards out. Couple that with 3 Matt Ryan touchdown passes. It is all Atlanta, 27-3.
You know what? I haven't thrown it back to the bird and the beard in a while. Boy, all right, back to the bird and the beard.
2 mentions. Oh, the Q rating is going to go through the roof. Thanks very much, JB. Coach Cowher knows a little bit about Steelers Raiders in his day. Chris Rainey, inside run, very close to 1st down yardage Dave Tollefson, the former Giant, with a hit. Where will President Obama and Governor Romney be tonight? They'll both be on a special 60 Minutes. That's tonight only. CBS. And it is enough for a first down. They'll move the chains with 5:40 to play in this third quarter. Pittsburgh Steelers 12-4 each of the last 2 years. They've been terrific on the road as well. Fake the handoff. Roethlisberger pumps, looks downfield. He fires. Heath Miller. Just short of the 20-yard line. It's Roethlisberger to Miller for 16 yards.
Again, he's got all time to throw to find Miller way down across the middle. But what was impressive about that, rolling left, set his feet, and fired a fastball into Miller. The arm strength certainly still there for Roethlisberger.
Roethlisberger over 300 yards now, 309 on the day, and we still have 4:55 to go in the third. Steelers up by 3 on the Raiders. Running play. Nothing there for Rainey as Tyvon Branch makes the stop. Give him a gain of 2.
The last drive for Roethlisberger. Completed 5 out of 8. Survived this hit by Philip Wheeler. And then finds Antonio Brown, who now has 5 catches for 56 yards. Mike Wallace finds his way to the back of the end zone. 6 catches on the day for 101 for Wallace.
2nd and 8 now for Pittsburgh. Just inside the 20. Redmond in the backfield. Roethlisberger working out of the shotgun. Flag down. Roethlisberger throws. Hits Wallace, who tries to curl for the first down. Not enough. Pat Lee with the tackle. 8-yard pickup. Penalty marker on the near side.
Illegal formation on the offense. Number 77. Be a 5-yard penalty. Replay 2nd down.
Yeah, Marcus Gilbert was not on the line of scrimmage. He was too far back, and that gets the call. Here he is right here. You can see as he's lined up here how much farther back he is than his right guard, Ramon Foster.
And one of the bigger upsets, the penalties. 8 of them for Pittsburgh, 0 for Oakland.
I can't believe that's got to be a misprint.
Nope.
These are the Raiders.
Got it right here, Dan. 2nd and 13 now for the Steelers after the penalty against Gilbert. Underneath Wallace. And Pittsburgh is very comfortable dinking and dunking. 5-yard gain there. Tyvon Branch with a stop.
And it really doesn't matter if the Raiders bring pressure as they did that time or if they lay off in zones.
Penalties have always been a storyline for the Raiders last couple of years, most in the NFL. 5 of the last 10 seasons, they've been number 1 in that dubious distinction. But this is a new regime. Dennis Allen has been preaching playing smart, being consistent, being tough, being disciplined.
Discipline, the key word there.
3rd and 8. Roethlisberger steps up. Roethlisberger on the move. Hooks up with Miller. And it is enough for a first down. Heath Miller continues to make plays. It's a 9-yard pickup.
I mean, how many times can we say that, hey, watch Roethlisberger extend the play? He's thinking to run, then he stops, he checks it out downfield, finds Miller, one-on-one with Mitchell, throws the ball perfectly away from the defender.
First down for the Steelers from the gun. Roethlisberger on a handoff for Redmond. Chopped down. Redmond lost his footing.
Number 23, Isaac Redmond. Loses a yard.
Dennis Allen had success last year against Roethlisberger running the Denver defense, but this has been a different story here.
Well, he had better pass rushers in Denver, primarily. They just don't have anybody that's getting anywhere near Roethlisberger this afternoon. Roethlisberger was sacked 5 times in that playoff loss last year.
2nd and 10. Quick hitter. Antonio Brown lost the ball. Scrambled for it. Recovered. Touchdown.
Looked like Philip Wheeler came over to help out Michael Huff. Punched the ball out before Brown could get across the goal line. Then a mad scrum at the bottom. Officials have already signaled that it's a touchdown.
Now it's getting ugly.
Yeah, well, Mike Wallace went in there and shoved the wrong guy, Richard Seymour. Seymour retaliated, and now the flags will fly.
Brown recovers it in the end zone. Mike Tomlin is trying to get his players out of there. We talked to Tomlin about the officials yesterday. He said, look, they didn't create this problem. I don't know if they're the solution to the problem, but I do appreciate their honesty. If they miss a call, they'll say to your face, hey, I missed that one, coach. Now, when you're winning games, you feel okay about it.
Yeah, this is a great effort by Antonio Brown to recover his own fumble in the end zone. Watch as the ball is knocked out by Wheeler. There it's on the ground. Brown sees it squeeze out, just like the country fair greased pig that it might be, and he beats Wheeler to the ball and hangs on for the referees to get there.
You've been to a lot of county fairs in your day?
I once was in a grease pig contest, and I tell you what, pal, that's not easy to corral that little booger.
And we have Dan video of that for you. Let's roll that in. So Brown comes up with a loose football after the tremendous effort to accelerate and get to the end zone. The ball was popped loose right at the end. And then, as there was a scramble for it, the two teams got involved. It got heated.
The ruling on the field is a touchdown. During the dead ball after the play, personal foul on the defense, number 93. That penalty will be enforced on the kickoff.
And that's Tommy Kelly for the extracurricular activities following the recovery.
The previous play is under review.
So they'll take a look at it to see exactly what happened, but it did look like Brown got stripped just before he crossed the plane. Right now, Pittsburgh has a 30-21 lead over Oakland with 1:31 to play in the third quarter. Antonio Brown fumbling the football just before he hit the goal line, but recovering it somehow amidst that crowd piled around it.
And these replay and replacement officials have really had some unusual calls today to sort out. And by and large, they've done a pretty solid job.
Agreed.
This job by Antonio Brown, you can see he's got both arms around that ball.
Ben Roethlisberger's got conflicting emotions. He's celebrating. Wait a second. Is it going to work out? Not sure. Yep. Yeah, it works out. Is it? I don't know. And this was the penalty afterwards with Kelly. Richard Seymour was in there. And the officials got in there as well.
Confirmed. Touchdown.
So the Raiders fans have to hear it for a second time.
Yeah, I'm not sure why it took so long, but it did, and here we are.
Extra point coming for Pittsburgh to regain that 10-point lead. We still have 1:31 to play in the third quarter.
Yeah, a lot of time for the Raiders. They seem to have found a little bit of rhythm the last time they had the ball on offense. They took advantage of that good kickoff return by Goodson and good field position and got in the end zone.
Sean Sweezemon. And it's 31-21. Pittsburgh. Wallace and Brown, what a 1-2 punch this has been at the wide receiver spot. You throw Miller in at the tight end position, and Roethlisberger's having a field day. For those of you expecting to see 60 Minutes, you're watching the NFL on CBS and the game between the Steelers and the Raiders. Ian Eagle along with Dan Fouts. Our score, Pittsburgh 31, Oakland 21. 60 Minutes will be seen immediately after the game, except on the West Coast where it will be seen at its regularly scheduled time. President Obama, Governor Romney featured on 60 Minutes tonight.
Speaking of 60 Minutes, Mike Wallace has 7 catches for 106 yards. Antonio Brown, 6 catches. Heath Miller, 6 catches. There's 7 different players that have multiple catches in this game for the Steelers.
Morley Safer with a catch as well. You just have to look a little lower on the stat sheet. 10-point lead for the Steelers at 1-1. They lost in week 1 at Denver. Bounced back with the win over the Jets last week at 21 unanswered points after going down 10-6. Raiders 0-2. Fell to San Diego week 1. Lost in Miami. Got outscored 28-3 in the second half last week to the Dolphins. Kickoff from Sweezum. And a touchback for Oakland out to the 20-yard line. NFL Today update. JB, Coach Bill Cowher standing by in New York.
Schaub is sharp.
Yeah, how about his 4th touchdown pass of the day, JB? This one to Owen Daniels, 14 yards out. They are now up 31-11 in Denver.
Hey, Coach, do you have a greased pig on your bucket list?
I have never tried that one, JB.
Oh, we got to talk to Dan about that one. All right, back to Ian and Dan.
Yeah, we're going to go through some of Dan's experiences at the county fair. I believe somebody guessed your weight correctly one year.
Every Sunday in the NFL was like the county fair.
It's true.
And I was the grease pig.
That's right. And they wanted to bring you down. Play action. Palmer, strong arm and a throw to Moore. Right on the dirt, he hauls it in. Moore had an issue with the dirt earlier when he fell down on the first play of the game, and it was an interception by Clark for Pittsburgh.
This offensive line for the Raiders doing a real good job protecting Palmer. He's only been sacked 1 time this entire game.
Bootleg, Palmer, sideline throw. Clean catch. Todd Haley trying to make the call for the officials that it was a juggle. And the Raiders get a first down.
Good job of getting the feet down. Beautiful effort by Hayward Bay.
So Oakland on the move once again. Just short of the 50-yard line. Here's Palmer with a deep drop. A flip over the middle for Myers. Breaking tackles. Myers takes it inside the 35 of Pittsburgh. That one covers 17 yards to the tight end.
Pretty nifty moves there by Brandon Myers. Watch after the catch. He can get down the field. Palmer going through his progression with time to throw. Makes foot miss. First down Pittsburgh or Oakland.
Steelers playing without Troy Polamalu once again, out with the calf injury. No James Harrison, the knee injury. Down to 5 seconds left. Palmer to Reese. Angles out of bounds with 1 second on the clock.
Marcel Reese on the reception from Carson Palmer.
Ryan Mundy chased him down. Reese may have been banged up on the play.
A gain of 5 to the 29.
So a 5-yard pickup for the versatile Marcel Reese. And that'll do it for the third quarter here in Oakland. Pittsburgh 31, the Raiders 21. We'll come back after this message and a word from your local station, the NFL on CBS. Start of the fourth quarter here in Oakland. Ian Eagle, Dan Fouts, the rest of our CBS crew, producer Bob Monsbach, director Suzanne Smith. Pittsburgh 31, Raiders 21. But Oakland threatening here, down by 10. And a flag comes down. Oakland is yet. Well, actually, they picked up the 1 penalty.
Ball start. Offense number 45. 5-yard penalty. Second down.
Kelly got that penalty on the touchdown afterwards. And now the second penalty of the day against the Oakland Raiders. So back it up. 2nd and 9. Myers comes out wide. Palmer looks, throws, sideline, and a little too far for Denarius Moore. There was contact with Ike Taylor, and the Raiders fans looking for a flag.
Let's check it out on the side here. That's illegal contact down the field there. I mean, how can you not call that? You're standing right there as an official. You cannot touch the receiver past 5 yards. Ike Taylor gets away with that one. Before that incomplete, Palmer had completed 8 in a row.
On the other side, when we talked to Mike Wallace about what he has thought with the officials, he said, look, defensive players are definitely pushing the envelope, but you just have to go out and play football. You can't worry about it. 3rd and 9. Palmer airs it out. Oh, tough grab. Rod Streeter, the rookie. And he got his bell rung at the end of the play, but he secured the football for a first down.
Palmer took a pretty good shot in the pocket, too, as he hung in there, waiting for Streeter to get down the field. 17 yards on the play and a big first down for Oakland.
Streeter getting himself to his feet as the medical staff takes a look.
A couple of rookies battling here. Streeter is going to beat Cortez Allen, and then Lewis comes in, inadvertently hits Streeter in the face with his left hand, and that's why Streeter went to the sidelines. Palmer takes a shot here as Woodley drives Willie Smith back into his quarterback.
New set of downs for Oakland. Play fake. Palmer to the end zone. Broke it up. Hayward Bay. A collision. Ryan Mundy just laid him out.
Ball was just a little bit late. Hayward Bay still down in the back of the end zone because of the hit by Mundy. The ball thrown a little bit sooner by Palmer would have been a touchdown as Hayward Bay got inside Lewis. Fans booing because they're seeing the replay as Mundy made contact with his helmet to the face mask of Hayward Bay.
Darius Hayward Bay, they're checking him out in the end zone.
On CBS is sponsored by State Farm. For auto, home, life, and banking, get to a better state. Enterprise Rent-A-Car. Pick Enterprise. We'll pick you up. And by Borderlands 2. Mayhem awaits. Bring friends. In stores now. Rated M for mature.
Beautiful spot in Oakland, Lake Merritt. Steelers leading the Raiders 31-21. Early stages, fourth quarter, and concern right now for Darius Hayward Bay. He took a big hit from Ryan Mundy, who launched at Hayward Bay, and they have brought the card out. In the NFL, they take every precaution in situations like this.
Yeah, his helmet definitely hit Hayward Bay in the face mask and the helmet. And it looked like Hayward Bay may have been knocked out before he even hit the ground, and he did hit the ground hard. So this is a compounding type of injury. But what surprises me is that the officials, again, missed that call. You cannot hit a defenseless receiver like that and not draw a penalty.
Well, look, we know there's been a lot of talk this week about the replacement officials after what happened Monday night. You know, my only concern now, doing all these preseason games, regular season, a bunch of games, television and radio, you don't want this situation for these replacement officials to be something that they're checking off their bucket list, that they're, hey, I'm happy to be here, great to be a part of it. You still got to go out and make calls. You're a part of the game.
It's a difficult situation. Any labor issue is always going to be difficult to figure out. I mean, it comes down to dollars and cents, but in this case, to me, it doesn't quite make sense.
Monday having a chat with Troy Polamalu, and concern on both sides, Steelers and Raiders, as they tend to Darius Hayward Bay. Yeah, he went down in a heap.
Almost like a boxer getting one right on the kisser, where he's unconscious before he hits the canvas.
So a stoppage here, 14:31 mark of the fourth quarter with the Steelers in front 31-21. Darius Hayward-Bay, the fourth-year receiver. Last year we really saw his ability to stretch the field, became more of an impact player. Ryan Clark among those kneeling and focusing on Hayward-Bay and making every moment count here, the medical staff, just to make sure it's handled correctly. This is something that league-wide we've seen over the last 12, 13 years, the improvement and the uniformity in every stadium, handling injuries.
And you know, Ian, as a player, this could happen at any time to any player.
Sure.
And that you have that understanding going into each and every game. You hate to see it, obviously, but it's a part of the game. It will always be a part of the game. It's a violent game played by big, athletic, fast players. And it just happens.
Ryan Mundy, the fourth-year pro, who has seen extended action because of injuries to Troy Polamalu. Ryan Clark missing week 1 in Denver because of his sickle cell condition. And Mike Tomlin telling us that Mundy, they look at him as a third starter. They've needed him to step forward. Nobody on the team questions it when Mundy gets the start. That was a hard hit. I think both you and I agree there should have been a flag on the play. But all the concern right now is just for the well-being of Darius Hayward-Bay. Troy Polamalu sitting out his second consecutive game with a calf injury.
See Dennis Allen on the right side of the picture, very concerned, obviously.
Players and fans reacting. In these moments, you just want to see a positive sign of some sort. Now Carson Palmer is making his way over there along with Marcel Reese. Darius Hayward-Bay now hearing it from the crowd. Darius Hayward-Bay being carted off after the collision in the end zone with Ryan Mundy of the Pittsburgh Steelers.
There's a good sign. Finally. Here's the crowd. He's communicating now with the medical staff.
The thumbs up from Darius Hayward-Bay. They're bringing him to the other side of the stadium.
And I'm sure there's an ambulance outside that side of the stadium that will take him to a local hospital for observation.
2nd and 10 from the 16.
Raider Nation reacting to Darius Hayward-Bay, and we're back to action now with a handoff to McFadden. Brought down inside the 15, 2.5, 3-yard gain. Lawrence Timmons getting down low to help make the tackle. Plenty of time left here. 14-15 remaining in the fourth quarter. The Pittsburgh Steelers leading the Oakland Raiders 31-21. Ben Roethlisberger, 334 yards, 4 touchdowns through the air. Palmer has picked it up in the second half. 2 touchdowns for Palmer, 128 yards, and a long drive here for Oakland. 8th play of the drive, and a 3rd and 8 for the Raiders. From the gun, they handle the rush. Catch made by Reese. Veers out of bounds. He's got a first down. It'll be 1st and goal for the Raiders inside the 5.
Raiders in the first half were 0 for 4 on 3rd downs. Second half, 5 for 5. 45 is Reese, the versatile former wide receiver at the University of Washington, makes that catch easily as he's working man-to-man against the linebacker, Jason Worlds.
Creating mismatches. Reese keeps this drive alive. 1st and goal from the 4. Motion man Hagan. Palmer on again. McFadden slashing. Picks up 3 yards.
We saw Rod Streeter injured on the play previous to when Hayward-Bay got hurt. Streeter on the previous play was back in the lineup, so he appears to be okay.
McFadden now 99 yards on the ground. A 64-yard touchdown run in the first quarter. 2nd and goal for Oakland. Trying to slice into this Pittsburgh lead. Flag thrown on the fade route.
False start.
False start. Offense, number 65. 5-yard penalty till 2nd down.
And the veteran Mike Brizell called on the false start.
Boy, that is really close too. Brizell barely jumps. Watch him right here. Boy, just a little tiny flinch was enough to get the call.
2nd and goal, back it up. Just short of the 6-yard line. Raiders down by 10. Palmer in trouble. Palmer rifles. Touchdown! Denarius Moore! Carson Palmer keeps the play alive. And the Raiders inch closer to Pittsburgh.
Spectacular catch by Denarius Moore, his first touchdown catch of the season. As Palmer gets away from trouble, then watch the layout here.
Touchdown reception. Sebastian Janikowski to attempt the extra point.
Beautiful play by Palmer and Moore.
11 plays, 80 yards for the Raiders. Janikowski on for the extra point. It's a three-point game with 12-13 remaining in the fourth. Palmer's third touchdown of the day as he connects with second-year wideout Denarius Moore. 31-28 Steelers. 31-28 Steelers in front of the Raiders. A reminder that 60 Minutes will be seen in its entirety immediately after this game, except on the West Coast, where it will be seen at its regularly scheduled time. Well, here's a story on Darius Hayward-Bay. He was knocked unconscious. They were checking the neck, and he's been taken to Eden Medical Center for further tests. It was a 12-minute delay on the field. Rainey angles out of bounds just across the 20-yard line. In 2 days, you can't miss Dennis Quaid and Michael Chiklis in the world premiere of Vegas. Premiering Tuesday at 10, 9 Central, only CBS. 11 plays, 80 yards for the Steelers. Defense could not stop the Oakland offense. Carson Palmer on that drive, 7 of 9, 85 yards, and Pittsburgh's lead is 3. 12:07 to go in the fourth quarter. Roethlisberger has been spectacular. Dump off. Heath Miller. A couple of touchdowns for Miller today, and he's brought down short of the 30-yard line. A 7-yard pickup for the tight end.
6 yards on that pass play.
And we'll see Roethlisberger now going up tempo here because the Steelers have been on the sidelines for so long offensively, but they're trying to jumpstart their offense with the no huddle.
2nd and 3 for Pittsburgh. Handoff, Redmond. Isaac Redmond. Physical run across the 35 and a first down for Pittsburgh.
36.
One of the better runs for Redmond and the Steeler offense today on that drop play. You can see, though, what this type of offense does is it keeps the Raiders in a very base defense. You notice the Raiders' defensive line all with their hands on their hips after just 2 plays.
Monster numbers for Ben Roethlisberger. Just 46 yards rushing for Pittsburgh. 45 pass plays, 17 running plays. Roethlisberger to throw it. Guns over the middle. Caught by Brown. Antonio Brown loses the football. Raiders have got it. It popped into the hands of Wheeler. Turnover, Pittsburgh. Pat Lee knocked it free.
Yeah, just trying to do too much. Pat Lee got his left hand on the ball and rubbed the arm away from the ball. Wheeler picks it out of the air. Huge turnover for the Raiders. But Antonio Brown just guilty of trying to do too much after the catch. Watch Lee come in with that left hand, and that pulls the ball loose. Seymour had a shot at it, but Wheeler, he's not going to miss his shot.
What a turn here in Oakland. Brown, whose elusiveness has been so impressive throughout the day, and that time it cost Pittsburgh. Raiders take over. First and 10 from the 36. Palmer on a line to Myers. Brandon Myers picks up 7 yards through the air. Ryan Clark will get credit for the tackle.
Well, last time the Steelers turned the ball over, the Raiders went right down the field and got in the end zone. You just can't say enough about the importance of ball security and how it just changes momentum in an instant.
2nd and 3 for the Raiders. And Palmer will make a change here. Hagan and Moore the wideouts, and it's reset up in the slot to a running play. McFadden. Hole opened up. McFadden able to shoot through it for 5 yards and a first down. Mike Breisel with a good block up front. McFadden now 104 on the day on the ground and a touchdown.
Yeah, watch this hole here. Huge hole there as Breisel does a good job along with the center Wisniewski for McFadden.
Just short of midfield now. New set of downs for Oakland. They trail by 3. Palmer straight back. Palmer, rainbow, flag thrown. Moore in a matchup with Keenan Lewis. And a penalty marker will work against the Steeler defensive back.
They're going to call it pass interference. They could call it illegal contact as well. But the ball was in the air.
Defense, number 23. Ball will be placed in the spot of the foul. First down.
This is what they were talking about as far as defensive backs trying to get away with murder here. That's about 10 yards down the field when Lewis makes contact. That's a 21-yard penalty against the Steelers.
Hall of Famer Dick LeBeau running this Pittsburgh defense. Play fake. Palmer. Sideline. Incomplete. Reese the intended target. Cortez Allen with the coverage. Young player out of the Citadel.
Really great coverage by Cortez Allen. Drafted in the 4th round last year. Number 28 gets away with a grab there. That should have been called as well.
Already within Janikowski's field goal range. Obviously, Oakland's got bigger things on its mind right now with 9:21 to go. Trailing 31-28. 2nd and 10 for the Raiders. Draw play. McFadden. McFadden busting to the second level of the Pittsburgh defense. Ryan Clark with a stop. It's an 8-yard gain. Wisniewski helped open up that hole for the dynamic Darren McFadden.
Yeah, the passing game is really helping the running game now. It's a draw. Looks like a pass to begin with, but it gets McFadden in open space, and that's where the Raiders want him.
McFadden to the sideline. Mike Goodson is in on a 3rd and 2. Janikowski waiting for his chance. Play clock is down to 3. On 3rd down, rush coming. Palmer gets rid of it. Connects with Hagan, first down. Needed 2, they picked up 3.
Hagan was picked up in the preseason because of injuries to the receiving corps. Just a simple, quick out route, perfectly thrown by Palmer. Palmer's got all day to throw. 6 for 6 now on 3rd down conversions for the Raiders, all in the second half.
1st and 10 for Oakland at the Pittsburgh 20-yard line. Down to 8:18 to play in the 4th quarter. Handoff. McFadden lowers the shoulder and picks up 3. Larry Foote over there defensively for the Steelers.
Yeah, both these offensive lines for Roethlisberger and Palmer done a fabulous job today protecting their quarterbacks. Roethlisberger's thrown it 46 times, hasn't been sacked. Palmer 27 times, been sacked just once.
On a pitch for McFadden. Stacked up. He'll lose yardage on the play. Lamar Woodley, first man to greet him, and then got some help from Lawrence Timmons.
Loss of a yard.
What we were talking about earlier, 0 for 4 in the first half and perfect in the second half.
Now this is a challenging one. 3rd and 8 for Oakland. They trail by 3, break the huddle. 5 seconds left on the play clock. Palmer working from the gun. Palmer throws underneath. Denarius Moore is chopped down. Not nearly enough for a first down as Lawrence Timmons helped blow up the play.
Great play by Timmons. It looked like Moore was headed to the goal line with a tremendous burst, and Simmons just comes out and swipes from the right side of the screen. Watch Simmons dive there and make that tackle.
Sebastian Janikowski, 32-yard field goal attempt. Trying to tie this one up. Hasn't missed this season. From 32 yards away, he splits the uprights. We are knotted up at 31 and 31. 6.5 to go, fourth quarter in Oakland.
On CBS is sponsored by NFL Mobile from Verizon, built to bring you the game. And by 1&1 My Website, where creating a business website is easy.
(31-31), 6:30 to play in the fourth quarter here in Oakland, California. Raiders 9 plays, 50 yards. Janikowski the 32-yard field goal. And now he will kick it off to Chris Rainey as the ball came off the tee. This is an Oakland team that came in last in the NFL in third down conversions through 2 weeks. They were 1 of 12 against Miami, but a complete turnaround in the second half. Janikowski, big leg, and it's coming out to the 20-yard line. So the turnover by Antonio Brown. Little hot potato. Raiders came up with it and turned it into 3 points. We're all tied up. Here at the O.co Coliseum, Steelers and Raiders tied at 31. For those of you expecting to see 60 minutes, we will have it for you in its entirety. It'll be coming up, except here on the West Coast where it will be seen at its regularly scheduled time. First and 10 at the 20 for Pittsburgh. 6.5 remaining in the fourth. Roethlisberger steps up. Roethlisberger, the tuck and run. And a flag thrown back at the 14-yard line as Roethlisberger is brought down after an 8-yard gain.
Holding, offense, number 74. 10-yard penalty for the previous spot. First down.
It's Willie Colon, 10th penalty called against Pittsburgh here today.
Watch Colon right here as Roethlisberger escapes the pocket. He's going to reach out and grab and just try to stranglehold on Richard Seymour there. Easy call for the officials. Terrible way to start this drive when you're in a tie ball game. Now you're backed up to your 10-yard line.
First and 20 from the 10. Spread the field with 5. From the gun, Roethlisberger, plenty of time, hooks a pass to Mike Wallace. He fumbles the football. And Wallace gets it back just across the 25-yard line.
Well, first it was Antonio Brown after the catch. This is Wheeler who gets his hand on this one. Watch Wheeler with his right hand punch that ball out. And Wallace with an outstanding effort beats Giordano to the ball.
17 yards on that pass play.
2nd and 3 for Pittsburgh. Avoiding disaster there after the catch by Wallace. Roethlisberger, play clock is down to 2. Check off into a running play. It's Isaac Redman. And stonewalled. Gain of 1.5 yards. NFL Today update. Let's head to New York. JB and Bill Cowher.
Coach, you and Fouts would say you drew this one up like this,
Just like it is. Peyton right here looking for Eric Decker. Through his hands. Joel Dreesen in the back of the end zone. We got a ball game in Denver. Back within 6. 31-25.
Pays to be in the right place at the right time. Iron Eagle, Dan Fouts.
And guys, similar to that Monday night game when the Broncos came from behind and made a game of it against the Atlanta Falcons, only to fall short. Tight one here, 31-31. Steelers and Raiders, third and short for Pittsburgh. A give to Redmond, second effort. Will they give him forward progress? Boy, it doesn't look like it. On that initial spot, he's going to be short. Had to get to the 30-yard line.
And that's how crucial that holding penalty on Cologne was on first down. Too much to overcome for the Steelers. And now they're going to have to punt the ball back to a red-hot Raider offense.
McLean in on that play. Wheeler as well.
And the offense staying out on the field, so Mike Tomlin is going to roll the dice here on 4th and 1.
Well, they're going to have to take a timeout. Play clock was winding down. Discussion between Roethlisberger and Tomlin. Todd Haley, Charlie Batch, third-string quarterback, all involved. The black hole has had an impact. Can you possibly go for it here, Dan?
I can't believe it if they do. I just would punt the ball and play defense. You're in a tie ball game. It's not like you have to go to keep the drive alive to get points. Just under 4 minutes to go in the game, and the wise thing would be to punt this ball away. But it's very tempting. But the other thing is that the Steelers haven't been able to really run the ball very effectively all season. What makes them think they can pick up a 4th down and short when they just missed on a similar play on 3rd down and short.
Steelers had 75 yards rushing week 1 against Denver, 66 yards rushing last week against the Jets. They have 48 yards on the ground here today.
And the other thing, Ian, if they don't get it, they're already within range of Janikowski.
They're going to go for it.
They better have a great play designed.
4th down for Pittsburgh. A little less than a yard. Redmond in the backfield. Handoff. Redmond, he's got it. Finds a crease. And a new set of downs for Pittsburgh to work with. They roll the dice. A gutsy call, and it pays off. 6 yards.
Yeah, really a good, misdirection play. Starting here and then cutting back over the center. Pouncey with a good job on Kelly, stands him up. That's all Redmond needs to pick up the 1st down. Great job by Pouncey.
Already one of the elite centers in the NFL in just his 3rd year. We're down to 3:10 to play in a tie game. Roethlisberger. They bring him down at the 30-yard line. They finally get to the quarterback, Seymour and Houston. Matt Shaughnessy, that initial heat on Roethlisberger. It's a loss of 5.
Well, we'll see if 92 and 99 share this sack, because it'll be the first of the year for both of them. What a great time for it to come.
Marcus Gilbert is out. Kelvin Beachum is in at right tackle.
And that's right where Lamar Houston plays opposite.
2nd and 15. Roethlisberger. Touch pass. Connects, but a short gainer to Miller. Philip Wheeler was all over it. 6-yard gain to the tight end.
Basically got back to sack yardage here, but it brings up a 3rd down and 9 for Roethlisberger. The Raiders are doing a better job getting pressure on the quarterback, especially with Marcus Gilbert out now and Beachum in.
They're going to let this one tick down to the 2-minute warning. Steelers and Raiders deadlock at 31. 2 minutes to play in Oakland. Will President Obama and Governor Romney be tonight? They'll both be on a special 60 Minutes tonight, only CBS. Tied at 31 here in Oakland. Steelers have 2 timeouts remaining. Raiders have 3. We have 2 minutes left. Fourth quarter, and Pittsburgh facing a 3rd and 9 from the 36-yard line. Working from the gun, Roethlisberger. 384 yards passing and 4 touchdowns here today. On 3rd down, Roethlisberger pump. Roethlisberger throws, incomplete. Under heavy pressure, Mike Burris got his hands around Roethlisberger, and the Steelers will punt on 4th down.
Yeah, that pass pressure getting to Roethlisberger that time. He's stepped up into the pocket, and then Burris, number 56, will come as he fights through the traffic and almost is able to bring him down before he gets rid of that one. That ball could have been picked off.
The rookie punter, Drew Butler, is on. Phillip Adams waiting for it. Moves forward. Brings it in cleanly at the 20. And Adams is spun down at the 25-yard line by Robert Golden on special teams. A 46-yard punt and a 5-yard return. .143 to play. Steelers and Raiders tied at 31.
It's a 44-yard punt by Drew Butler. 1st and 10 for the Raiders from their 25.
Raiders looking for their first win of the season. And the first win for rookie head coach Dennis Allen, who turned 40 yesterday.
And 40 is the key number right now. 40 yards is what they need to get Janikowski in range.
1st and 10 for Oakland at its own 25-yard line. Denarius Moore, the motion man. Palmer, out route. Caught by Hagan, but he was out of bounds, incomplete. Keenan Lewis, the coverage for Pittsburgh at 2nd and 10.
Just ran out of room. He could not get his feet down. Made the catch, didn't juggle it, but watch his feet. Left foot out of bounds.
Any reviews would come from the booth under 2 minutes to play, and that one was clear as day.
And Steelers brought pressure clear as day that time. They're not going to sit back.
On 2nd down, Palmer out of the gun. And nobody home. Denarius Moore, the intended target. Moore and Palmer not on the same page there. In this second half, we've had some fireworks. Roethlisberger to Wallace. Brown stripped of the ball, somehow recovers it in the end zone for the touchdown. The Raiders answer with a touchdown to Moore, and then the Brown fumble, which set up the Janikowski field goal to tie it at 31. 3rd and 10 now for the Raiders. Palmer over the middle. Hauled in by Myers. 1st down, Oakland. 15-yard hookup.
You just can't give a quarterback of Palmer's ability time to throw. They just rushed 4 this time. Watch this throw under tight coverage by Timmons. Great catch, great throw.
Sebastian Janikowski hit a 63-yarder against the Denver Broncos last year, one of the most powerful legs in the NFL. Hagan with the catch and spin just short of midfield. It's a 9-yard pickup.
They need about 15 more yards to get Janikowski in real comfortable range. Remember, he has an NFL record 63-yarder. Has hit 3 over 59 in his career.
2nd and 1, quick hitter. It's Reese battling for extra yardage into Pittsburgh territory inside the 45. 8-yard pickup, timeout taken with 32 seconds to play in the 4th, and the Raiders are on the move. Tonight on CBS, 60 Minutes, full hour with President Obama and Governor Romney, followed by Person of Interest and The Mentalist, only CBS. Each team with 2 timeouts remaining. 33 seconds left on the clock.
And right now, a field goal from here would be about 61 yards. But the way the Raiders have moved the ball in the second half, Palmer playing very confidently, doing a great job of leading his team, tremendous generalship as we talked about how Roethlisberger spread the ball around, distributed balls to his different receivers. Palmer's done the same thing with Greg Knapp's offense in the second half.
Raiders have not led here today. Pittsburgh got off to the quick start, but Oakland has battled back in this old school rivalry. The Steelers and the Raiders, 33 seconds to play. Oakland with a 1st and 10. Palmer sets, he throws, open, Derek Hagan, and Hagan ducks out of bounds at the 26-yard line. 17 yards on the catch and run, and they're very much in Janikowski field goal range now.
Good job of Hagan just running as fast as he can to get out of bounds. 44-yard field goal would be the distance now for Janikowski. Now the Raiders have got to be thinking about just placing the ball to the left side so Janikowski can kick off the grass and not have to kick out of the dirt infield.
McFadden in the backfield. The philosophy changes now. Running play, McFadden. 1 yard. Larry Foote the stop.
You see the direction they went. Want the ball on that left hash mark. A lot of green grass there. And now a Steeler is slow to get up.
It's Ziggy Hood.
This will be an automatic timeout charged to the Steelers because of the injury to Hood.
Fourth-year defensive lineman Hood. They're turning him over to his back. The left leg got caught underneath. So some extra time for Janikowski to think about it. Roethlisberger, 36 of 49 today, 384 yards, 4 touchdowns, no picks. Wallace has gone for 123 yards and a touchdown. Miller has 2 touchdowns, the tight end. Brown with a touchdown, 87 yards on 7 catches. But here we are in the 4th quarter with 21 seconds left, and it's the Raiders in position to get their first win. Right now they're looking at a 43-yard field goal as Hood is limping his way to the Pittsburgh sideline. Second and 9 for the Raiders from the Pittsburgh 25. And Carson Palmer will go down. It's a loss of 1 on the play.
And to ensure that Janikowski will be kicking off the grass, smart play by Dennis Allen and Carson Palmer.
3 seconds left. Pittsburgh does have the 1 timeout left if they want to ice Janikowski. They put a second on the clock, 4 seconds remaining.
Just can't say enough about the Raiders in this second half. I mean, this game was Pittsburgh's all the way throughout that entire first half. They dominated both sides of the ball, but a couple of turnovers really turned the momentum for the Raiders. Wheeler recovering the Antonio Brown fumble, and then the defense coming up and forcing the Steelers to punt last time they had the ball on offense.
The Raiders have dropped 6 of their last 7 games going back to last season when it fell apart at the end of the year. Janikowski on for a 44-yard attempt. Leckler will hold it. Janikowski sweeps the leg. He's got it. Raiders win. Dennis Allen, his first victory as a head coach. Oakland has knocked off Pittsburgh, 34-31, the final.
Happy birthday, Dennis Allen. Congratulations.
A storied rivalry, the 20th all-time meeting, and it belongs to Oakland. Sebastian Janikowski. 13 unanswered points in the fourth quarter for Dennis Allen. That's what victory tastes like. The Raiders come from behind to defeat the Steelers, 34-31. Both teams 1-2. Tonight on CBS, 60 Minutes, followed by Person of Interest and The Mentalist. For Dan Fouts, our entire CBS crew, this is Ian Eagle. So long from Oakland. You've been watching the NFL on CBS.